Welcome to the Outer Dimensions podcast, the channel that goes over all your great movies of past, present, and maybe in the future, depending on if SAG gets everything taken care of. Welcome to our our episode in our series for Hispanic Heritage. We got Dre, CEO of the Collector Safe Space and co-founder of the Outer Dims, the Outer Dim Pod. That's our Twitter handle, or should we say X? And of course, I am Dave of Dave's Dimension, co-host of the Outer Dimensions podcast. Whoa, wait a minute. Someone else is popping up in here. We got Colin, aka EC Collecting, and also the heart and soul of Effin' Figures podcast. Welcome, Colin.
What's going on, everybody?
It's great to have you in here, man.
Colin's so excited to be here. Can't you tell?
Happy to be here.
No, it's been a day for all of us. I think we've all had like that long day, and it's just, like we're ready to just enjoy some kind of mindlessness. And we hope that you guys are going to enjoy some mindlessness now with us, because it is Hispanic Heritage Month. We're finishing out, and literally, if I'm not mistaken, we are down to 11 days for Hispanic Heritage Month. And a lot of people have, told me that, we love what you're doing, wish you'd do more. Well, it is Italian Heritage Month this month. Now, sadly, it coincides with Halloween. So maybe next year, Dave and I will try to throw in we'll sprinkle in something for Italian Heritage Month. There are some great movies and films.
I'm sorry, I need to interject here. Okay. I'm declaring a rule right now.
Okay.
There is no Heritage Months. We're celebrating Heritage year round. So if there's a Hispanic movie or something that heavily features anyone who's Hispanic or Latino, and Dre, comes across and says, "Hey, we should cover these movies," we'll do it. There's no, Black History, we will celebrate it year round. I'm Irish. My wife's Italian. I always looked at October as, it's Halloween, but what's the day after Halloween, Dre?
Dia de los Muertos.
Exactly. So maybe that week we'll throw something extra into the mix, no matter what the theme is that week. Who knows?
That's cool, yeah.
Growing up, this is off subject, guys, so I do apologize. Growing up, I went to, I'm east side of Buffalo, very urban. I actually went to a grade school and a high school that was predominantly African American. My grade school was named Martin Luther King Multicultural Institute. So we didn't have Black History Month. We celebrated it. You learned it year round. You learned all different heritages year round. So personally, I want to make that kind of a standard with us. We don't have to choose a certain month to celebrate it. We'll celebrate it during that month, but I think we should just make it like year round. No boundaries. Let's just make it even year round. It's Heritage Year. Year round.
It needs to be that way, especially for the kids. Especially, it's Hollywood. He's in here early. Holy crap! We were late, but he's in here early.
Okay, we're gonna catch up in the chat before we do anything else. William, I got your email. I replied to it, so go ahead and check it out. You might like what you see in there. He was really awesome and actually sent me a picture of his kid who dressed up for the first time as a Ghostbuster at a con recently.
Nice,
looking sharp, looking good. We got LeBron Fets. Did you get a haircut, Dave? No, I got drop kicked by a weed whacker. True story.
Turned out pretty good.
No, I'm trying. I'm growing this out, and then I'm gonna bleach it so I could be, You know who from Street Fighter? No.
I was gonna say, dude, you'd be like Paul from Tekken.
Hey, why not? Dre of Collector Safe Space. That's awesome that he popped in.
I know he's such a good guy.
I thought you were gonna say Vanilla Ice, to be honest.
That's what I was thinking too. I was told
hey, we need that figure for Ninja Turtles too. Am I wrong?
It's got to be coming.
It's got to be.
Come on.
There's no way that's not going to come.
Unless he's playing hard to get with the the rights.
And I don't see him doing that. So
Elias Kotis, he was janky. He held off.
But a lot of actors haven't, and especially now with what's currently going on in Hollywood, I could see maybe some people doing that, but we'll see.
I don't see him doing it though.
This guy right here
travels around in a turtle party wagon and does he's always doing turtle stuff. So I just
Nerd Affiliated sent me a picture or a little video clip of his pack.
Nerd Affiliated, my feral predator comes tomorrow. He's in Chicago right now.
You're
I'm
what?
Jealous. Yeah, my prey predator, my NECA prey predator. He's
okay.
I'll have him tomorrow.
I heard you say feral, so I was like, huh? What?
Oh yeah, feral predator. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, the feral predator NECA figure has released. A lot of people have been getting them from comic book shops. I've known nobody getting it from like any of the major retailers.
Yeah, I haven't seen it or nothing.
But
Amazon has it up there, but it's like $70.
But Archer, his pack for someone doing their first attempt at modding a pack, he's killing it. It looks friggin' fantastic, and he's got a ton of features on there. I'm a little jealous. He's got a little bit more going on than I did with my my first Ghostbuster stock pack. So
he's gonna show you up, huh?
yeah. But he's got that Hollywood money, so yeah, he can do that.
True, yeah.
William said, yes, sir. Awesome. LOL. We got LeBron. Can't stay long. Gonna go watch Ahsoka. Dude, you are not ready for Ahsoka's season finale. Enjoy it. Watch it. You will love it. I guarantee. Money back guarantee, but you didn't pay me anything, so you don't have to worry about it. But no, Ahsoka was to me, it was a mic drop of an episode, but that's something for another podcast. Yeah, Nerd Affiliate saying, EC, you hunting prey? ? Just announced today. So yeah, EC's got that on lockdown. You know it.
Yeah, that's his predator. You guys know when it comes to anything predators or turtles, I know where to go and find the information out.
Yeah, there'll be a video up right away when that thing comes. So
I know you ain't waiting.
Listen, he's gonna start recording before it's even out of the shipper. Yeah, let's be honest.
I'm gonna have my intro done before it even hits the doorstep, dude.
It's like ding dong. He'll be like running on the steps like.
But a little reminder before we begin, guys. If you like LeBron said, he can't stay. He's gonna go watch Ahsoka. But guys, never forget, you can always check this out on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast from, because the Outer Dimensions podcast is available on practically almost every podcast platform out there. But you can always rewatch us on YouTube, whether it's on the Outer Dimensions podcast channel, which is always the preferred channel go check out and please subscribe. The Collector's Safe Space, Dave's Dimension, and Colin, are you also streaming that on your channel today? This episode?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. So
sweet.
Yeah. So we're simulcasting on 4 separate channels. So please go ahead and check it out. But you can check out all of our past episodes right on the Outer Dimensions podcast channel. And don't forget, you can always message us on the Outer Dim Pod on Twitter, or is it the X or the X Twitter? I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
It's the X until they tell us that we have to pay for it. Then we'll be going to Instagram.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. You're always paying for it with the X, aren't you? I'm just saying.
Nah, true. You got kids like me and Colin.
And of course, the Outer Dimension podcast on Instagrams. So let's go ahead. Let's bring it in.
All right.
Hispanic Heritage Month. Horror films that celebrate Hispanic culture. Dre,
can you roll through the slides since it won't let me?
I can.
All right, so
I was gonna, but I'm just said I can.
All right, so for everybody that loves horror films, there are some really great ones. We're gonna open up with The Devil's Backbone, El Espinazo del Diablo for those of you, I'll say it's slower because I'm sorry. When you speak Spanish a little bit, it rolls off the tongue faster than me breaking it down. But it's called El Espinazo del Diablo. This came out in 2001. Guillermo del Toro, folks. This is, and I know Colin and I talked about it because he already, when I mentioned it, he's like, "Oh, sweet, I have it on Blu-ray," and it made me feel good because not a lot of my friends knew about Guillermo del Toro's movies that he did prior to Hellboy. So, and these didn't get a theatrical release here in the US. So, I'm going to go through this I'm not going to go through this in the typical fashion because we have a guest and I want to get him to chime in. It's 108 minutes long. So it's a little bit of a longer, more story-driven horror film. He does not do horror in the traditional sense like an Eli Roth. Eli Roth is very in-your-face, gore, action, violence. Then the story trickles out kind of through that prose.
Well, it's still under 2 hours.
It's under the 2 hour mark, but it's still, I think that, and I already saw Colin nod his head, so he knows this is more story. Like, this is where it's character driven, it's story driven, much like Pan's Labyrinth, much like the Orphanage or El Orfanato, and like what was it, the Shape of Water. If you guys haven't seen any of his other films, I mean, they're fantastic, and he is coming back to do the next Hellboy movie. It's been kind of teased, and there is talks. So I just want to leave it at that.
I still have not watched that other Hellboy movie that was made.
Nothing
against the people involved.
I couldn't get through it.
Nothing against the people involved. I mean, you have to have Guillermo. You have to have Ron Perlman.
And Ron Perlman said he'll come back. I
mean, it's like when you think of Batman, first one that pops in my mind is always going to be Keaton, right?
And Burton.
Yeah. I mean, those are the names that pop in your mind. I mean, Hellboy, you're thinking Guillermo and you're thinking of Ron. I mean,
and it's even Pat Grimm. Like, they're doing another Pat Grimm, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
The budget for this movie was a pretty big budget. A lot of these people, for anybody that doesn't know, are very famous Latin actors and actresses. Marissa Paredes she's actually was a model as well. So $4.5 million budget that covered a lot of the things. It was all filmed in Spain and Mexico, so it's got a mix of the two areas. It did have a box office only internationally, though. That's as much as what I could get from just various news sites and bloggers. It did not come here to the States, and they said that if it did, it was in art houses, and there's no tracking of that because a lot of art house theaters have closed due to the pandemic era. So now, Colin, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, nowadays that really, I mean, people are kind of going back. They find a director and they're kind of going back through their past films now. I mean, I guess it is kind of a, what's the term they like to do? Like, cult classics or cult favorites. I mean, but like you're saying, like this had like Guillermo has more story, more substance to it. Personally, I like a horror movie that has more substance. Not necessarily a canon per se, but a history to it. It's not just some crazy person slicing people up, but that there's a reason behind it, that there's an actual background and story.
Well, just to give you 1 second, just because I like what you're saying, but it says right here in the tagline of the movie poster, it says, ¿Qué es un fantasma? For those of you that don't speak Spanish, that it means, what is a ghost? And that's a lot of what the story is about. So, Dave, you go back on. I want you guys.
Well, no, I was just saying, like, we grew up. All of us grew up with horror movies that were like slasher movies, but we didn't get stories until 3 or 4 sequels later. Perfect example is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep, the new Nightmare.
It wasn't until I think Elm Street 4 or 5 when we actually saw Robert Englund as himself before he was killed by the parents of Springwood.
Wait, you don't think the new Nightmare really kind of delved back really deeper into the lore? And we should have a whole separate.
Well, again, a new Nightmare is how many sequels after it started? I said usually about 4 or 5.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're right.
yeah, so that would have been, I think that would have been Elm Street number 6 or 7, technically speaking. New Nightmare.
Yeah. So Colin,
So,
you said you had this on Blu-ray, and you've watched this film. I want to hear your take on what you thought about this and what did you glean from it?
Well, I mean, I love Guillermo del Toro. I love his worlds. I love his creatures. I love like you said with this movie with this like story. There's a lot of mystery to it, and it all comes together at the end. I love that. I love those are like some of my favorite movies. And it's not like it's not like your typical horror movie where it's like really scary or nothing. It's creepy. It's just the story's great. I don't know. I love it.
Do you feel like he is more akin to like, and I'm going to say this, like the way M. Night Shyamalan was before, not now, not his crap that he's put out now. The stuff that like we got in like, his early iterations of his films. Do you feel like that's what we got in this film?
I would say it's similar, yeah. There's stuff going on, but just, it's like you're kind of getting pieces and pieces, and at the very end, it just all comes together, and I love that.
Now I'm going to ask you this: are you a fan of films that have subtitles? Because I know a lot of people do not like subtitles in films, and they feel like if there's a language barrier and it's not dubbed over, it's ruined. Do you feel like that ruined an experience for you?
Oh no, dude! I subtitles do not bother me. What bothers me is dubbed over. I cannot stand dubbed over.
Dude, what do you mean?
They should not allow that, dude. I hate that. Like I think my Netflix was like auto set to that, and I had to change it because I can't stand it. There's nothing worse than that. Subtitles.
I had to do that.
Even if you don't like subtitles, you'll get used to them within a couple minutes.
Well,
that
if
doesn't
you don't
deter me at all.
I want to chime in on dubs and subtitles. I mean, in my experience, okay, you have how the movie is written, how the script is, right? But then you have, we're going to dub it over. So then you have someone who's doing a translation, but now with the dub, well, if the translation doesn't exactly quite make sense, the wording, that is. So now they might change some of the words so that it kind of loses its meaning. They're trying to substitute one word for another because maybe it sounds better grammatically in that particular language that they're dubbing it into, but then it just winds up getting lost. I mean, technically we hear it in animation all the time, and I definitely have seen that in quite a few movies as well.
Oh yeah, there's somebody who speaks more than one language. I've always experienced it when I watch Japanese stuff, when I watch Spanish stuff. It's you always get there's a level to where you miss. I don't think that, and I agree. It doesn't ruin. I think that actually makes your experience because this is tied to Hispanic culture. That's the other good thing about Guillermo. He shoots to do things that are very tied to being of Mexican culture. So, Bloody Disgusting. Again, you guys know I'm going to say this very honestly. I don't just sit on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, all the other aggregators. I like to look at all these other like Phantasm, which was a great magazine growing up. I'm so old when I say that, but I loved that magazine growing up. Fangoria was a great one. Those were where I went to like their websites and like to find more information. And Bloody Disgusting ranked this film at number 18 in their top 20. They said it's alternately a gut-wrenching portrait of childhood in a time of war and skin-crawling, evocative nightmare. That's the stuff that makes a horror movie a horror movie. And that's kind of like, I think, the theme, if you've watched all these films that we've done, because I know some people didn't get to do their homework, but like the three of us have. And I know that, Colin, I'm going to ask you, do you think some of that evocative nightmare, kind of skin crawling feeling, does that settle for the rest of these films we're going to talk about?
Like
beyond this one, in the five that we have we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I thought they were all pretty. For the most part, yeah.
I know there's one that's going to kind of throw everybody, which I'm waiting to get to that one because I know it's one that's like the one you told me about yesterday, and I think I want to hear what Dave. But we'll go on. Dave, what do you think about the other ones? Do you think that they're a little bit like kind of creepy, kind of
Well,
you know?
I honestly I can't give a true statement, and this is why. I grew up like I was like 9 and 10 years old watching horror movies where people's guts were being ripped apart, and you know horse, each limb of a person was tied to a separate horse, and the horses just ripped the sockets out. And I mean, me growing up, we watched nothing but horror movies on the weekend, so I kind of got a little desensitized. I mean, for a long time, I mean, you see all the Friday the 13th, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Candyman, Hellraiser movies. And then, like, for a while, I was getting kind of bored because it was kind of just regurgitated kind of plots, so to speak. And then Scream came around, which kind of refreshed the genre a little bit for a minute. Because it wasn't necessarily supernatural, it was more kind of a story. You're trying to figure out the plots and everything. So, I mean, honestly, the more gore, the better. I love it. But guess what? My wife is not a horror fan. She does not like scary movies. So I'm always watching them by myself.
See, like, I love gore too, but gore is not what scares me. What scares me is like realism. Like Scream is something that can really happen. You could be babysitting and
Scream definitely can happen.
Like even this movie.
How about People Under the Stairs?
Like, it's still got a realistic thing to it. Yeah, there's a ghost in it, but like if you remove the ghost, there's still a whole movie there that could. Still totally.
I mean, kind of. Imagine if they took more of a horror angle to The Purge.
Well, even see, The Purge is like something that we can even say could be a real thing because that's considered horror. I don't think it should be, but it's like it's
regardless of
horror.
Your political views, audience.
Exactly.
The Purge could happen. I mean,
a movie that's really creepy to me is Seven. Seven is really creepy.
Yes,
it's dark. You never know what's gonna happen. Like that should be horror. I mean, that's horror to me.
It should be, and it's not. That's another one that should be horror. There's a lot of weird classifications, and maybe the three of us need to get together and do an episode specifically about what the odd
horror that could take
things that are not classifications.
How about this? We can compile even a couple episodes where we choose movies that could really happen.
Ooh.
So many.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, we could think of some creepy stuff like I mentioned, like children, People Under the Stairs, or like some like stuff that's just like, because one thing, Walking Dead, I loved at first because at first you're thinking, oh, it's the zombies you got to worry about. No, it's the humans that survive the apocalypse you need to worry about.
Look at Eli. Look at Eli, great film.
Yeah.
Denzel, love Denzel. But imagine that the way you look at the world is that people are the threat, not the world around you.
Yeah.
And I think that's truly what gets, and I know that Colin said it, I think the three of us can literally agree. Gore, we've all been desensitized on. It's that realistic, like some dude knocking at your door, like the neighbors, and they gut you. We hear horror stories like that in the news. That's nothing like, oh, they found this person, like Hannibal Lecter. That's some crazy stuff. So let's move to the next one. We'll go to the next one, and I like that. It's very thought provoking. So obviously, I said it. Pan's
Probably the
Labyrinth,
most well known out of the picks.
This one did have a release here in America, and it was in theaters. And I will say this: if you have not seen this film, folks, you have missed out. It is fantastic. It's called El Laberinto del Fauno. Now, Fauno is what they called Pan. Now, Pan, obviously, we know is from mythology, the faun, creature of a male torso with the sheep legs. The people in the movie I'm not going to go over because a lot of these people we've never really heard of, and outside of independent films, except for your producer and your writer, which is Guillermo del Toro. Now, he wrote this film. This was actually his notebook. He wrote the idea behind this film. A budget of $19 million, grossed $83 million in the box office. Again, not a huge release. And it was dubbed. And it ruined it when I saw it dubbed until it came out. And I'm going to date myself, folks. HD DVD. Before Blu-ray, we had DVDs and then HD DVD, which is an Xbox exclusive red box DVD before Blu-ray decided to say porn went to Blu-ray and made it cheaper.
I mean,
That's
if you
why
wanted to
Blu-ray
date
took
yourself, you
over.
could have said Laserdisc, but you know.
No, I would have gone to Betamax if I'm going to really date myself. Betamax, but I didn't. I only had like one or two of those.
Now, I will say this: watching Pan's Labyrinth, you can obviously, like anyone who's watched the Hellboy movies made by Guillermo, you can tell that there's a certain animation or visual style that obviously this is the origin for a lot of it. Like the designs of the various characters and creatures, definitely, you know, this is where Guillermo kind of derives, because you see a lot of similar I don't want to say animation, but designs.
His costume inspirations and his world is
not
very...
just the costume, but like the actual like character designs and everything. You see
yeah.
a lot of those influences, like in Hellboy 2. You know, they definitely swirl back to definitely this movie. You can definitely see the heavy influences. And I think it's a bit of a compliment, very much like with Tim Burton. You go to Tim Burton's earlier films like Beetlejuice and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and you can kind of see that kind of animation style decades later in, like, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas and, you know, Frankenweenie and a whole host of others, you know.
Now, this movie did actually win it got 2 Oscar wins. It was Best Cinematography. Oh, sorry, 3 Oscar wins. Best Cinematography, Best Makeup, which is, like Dave was saying, the designs on these costumes and the way that they move and they animate, they're just so amazing. And then Best Art Direction. It did get nominated for Best Foreign Film. It got nominated for a screenplay and Best Original Score. Now, Colin, you're one of my big NECA collector friends that I can, and my brother, I know you know this. How many have you ever collected the Pan's Labyrinth figures?
Oh yeah. I got the figure from Devil's Backbone too.
Oh wow! Look at you.
Yeah, the mom and the kid.
Look at that.
You're making the CEO feel like a mailroom employee right now.
I know. I feel terrible. I'm like, man, he beats me on some eclectic toys I thought I had. That's dope.
I'll pull it out and I'll send you pictures of it.
So, what did you think of Pan's Labyrinth? Again, I saw this dubbed in theaters and I hated it dubbed, but I watched it subtitled and I cried. Like, hands down, I cried.
This is a perfect example of why I love Guillermo del Toro. Like Dave was just talking about his art style, and every time I watch this movie, I get something different out of it. And I love 1940s era. So, like, I don't know. I just love this. Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know the story, I'll give you guys a brief little kind of, and I don't like doing this. I kind of want you to see the movie. But when you think of this film, like he says, takes place during World War II. And it focuses on a invasion in Spain. But the thing is, are you seeing it from the perspective of the girl, the child, or are you seeing it from the global perspective? And you really have to look at it in those two different veins, through those two different lenses. And when you look at it through the second lens of the girl, that's where your heart really goes out for the character. You start like really understanding trauma, understanding the world around you and how kids, and I think that's kind of been a theme across his work. Like there's a trauma that happens to kids or to someone, and they have to persevere through it, or a parent loses something. You know, like if you saw The Orphanage, you see The Orphanage, Colin?
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring up Are You Afraid of the Dark too, with the kids and the little creatures that steal the teeth and
exactly.
like yeah, they are. It's all kid related pretty much.
So again, it's kind of funny. Like I actually found this on a blurb from an article on IMDb, where he was actually freaking out because he left his notebook in a taxi cab while he was in London working on a Hellboy, and the cab driver returned it. Do you imagine? Could you imagine if you were that cab driver, the amount of money?
Oh, especially now.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, I just got something cool that came in the mail. For those, ironically enough, for the three of us in here, for you guys that are wondering, the Four Horsemen, Mythic Legions, I got the box of swag today from them.
Oh, nice.
My wife just brought it in. So.
Name drop.
Hey man, that's cool stuff. I love it. But you know, it's a very cool movie. I think it's one that if you don't have a heart, you shouldn't watch it. You know, come on now.
Well, I mean,
it's a good horror film. It's definitely, but it's not horror though.
Let's just throw this out there. One, Guillermo is, and I mean, you know, anyone that doesn't know, we're talking about Guillermo del Toro. I mean, to me, it's all you have to say is Guillermo, and people know who we're talking about. I mean, he's proven that he's one of those directors that not only does he, you know, he's a great director, but he knows how to write a damn story. He knows how to bring those words and visuals that he has in his mind, and he knows how to bring them to life. I mean, Blade 2. Blade 2 was Guillermo del Toro, and to me, that gave more substance to the characters. There's more story, more history, more in depth than we had from the first and even the third Blade movie. Honestly, I think Blade 2 is one of my favorites. But I mean, it's, you know, no matter what he touches, Pacific Rim, I mean, no matter what he does, he doesn't miss, he never misses his mark. Maybe the audience isn't ready for it. You know, maybe it's not as well received because, you know, it all depends on what the audience is currently looking for. I mean, just like in, you know, there's trends in toy collecting, there's trends in, you know, movie going, there's trends in fashion, there's trends everywhere. You know, if the current trend is a certain type of movie, yeah, they're going to embrace it, they're going to eat it up, and they're going to love it. Now, if the trend happens to be more family oriented stuff, then maybe one of his films may not actually grab the audience. But to me, I mean, I can't think of a miss that he's ever really had. I mean, if you watch every single one of his movies, anything that he has a part in, it just
Pac
always what?
Pac Rim 2 Uprising.
Okay.
That's his miss. If he's allowed one miss in Hollywood, I'll give him that one.
Yeah, but you know what?
Because he didn't touch Hellboy.
How much of that was the studio though? Let's be honest.
It was the studio. It was the delay of like what 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he is an anime fan, and they didn't really play up into the anime nature of it, which is why everybody loved the first, first one. Because what was the first one? Evangelion.
Basically.
Well, the two didn't feel anything like the first one.
No, it was a complete
shadow.
shadow.
That dark feeling, like they were totally two different feelings. They were like, it was like a totally different thing.
They brought one actor back from we had technically three actors back from the first one, but they are all secondary characters for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, that's what really killed it. I mean, you know, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. I still love the first one.
Oh, the first one, I love it. Yeah.
First one, I mean, it was great. Even the soundtrack, I will listen to the soundtrack because I'm that kind of a nerd. But I mean, he's just an amazing director. To me, I mean, come on, think about it, like we're talking about 2006. It's 2023 right now. So many people still bring up Pan's Labyrinth. It's still relevant. And take a look at who we have as the cast. I mean, we got Doug Jones. If it wasn't for Guillermo, I don't think Doug Jones would I mean, some people who are probably listening to this or watching this probably aren't familiar with Doug Jones, but he was Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. He has played so many different characters, especially in TV and in other movies. He's a very tall, slender actor. He's great at playing creatures because he can just develop movements that seem so alien and non-human. He's on Star Trek Discovery. He's been in so many different movies over the years. I mean, he's a great talent. He does voice work too. I mean, he's a good actor, really great actor, but I don't think he would even be at the level he is now if it wasn't for Guillermo, because Guillermo loves to use the same actors. I mean, come on, we get Ron Perlman in Blade 2. We get Ron Perlman in was it the second Hellboy? Or no, he was in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of Pacific Rim. He was also in the first one.
Yeah, he was the
he was the black market.
Yeah, you take the brains and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he
had the cool shoes.
Yep. He
had
those gold those gold armor like shoes.
Yep. They were like medieval, like with shiny and yeah.
He likes to use a lot of the same actors, and I mean, I think, he knows what he has. He's like, hey, I'm doing this film. Ron, I think I got a great part. I think you'll really love it. And he jumps on it,
Well, I think too, because of his like art style, you have to have like odd actors, and like,
oh yeah.
Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like Ron Perlman, he's got that look to him. Like he's different,
I mean, he can play a lot of different characters, like the vampire that he plays in Blade 2, who's like this kind of like, he thinks he's the big bad, I mean, he's just one of those actors. Ron Perlman, I mean, come on, he's been acting since the 80s.
You got to be like real one of a kind, like
to
fit into his worlds, and that's.
I mean, overall, this is like, I think this film really touches on a lot of great things. It's considered and classified as horror, but I think the three of us can agree there are elements that are scary, but again, it's the human elements that are scary, not the monster elements. Yeah, and I think, that's what at least what I think.
It kind of has a grim fairy tale type horror element to it. I think is probably a good way to put it.
Yep, very.
It's very good inspiration. I think if you guys have not watched this film, and lots of you guys, and I'm going to give you guys a big shout out to our community, have reached out to me and Dave and have said, hey, I've watched the film you guys have recommended and really loved it. And, because of your review, I went and watched it. So this is one, I don't know necessarily where you can find it. You probably can find it on Max.
It's you have to rent it.
You could probably get it on Vudu, VUDU. That's where I go for like if I'm going to buy a movie, or you can even digitally rent. I think you might be able to do it through. But I mean, if you're looking to like just stream it. I don't know if Shudder or any of the other streaming platforms might have it.
I searched it through the streaming services. It was available to rent or buy through different streaming services.
Yeah. Okay. So Colin knows. Colin even knows the deal. He knows the format. So it's like, if you can't find it, we'll find it for you.
Welcome, Mega Demon Collects. Pop into the chat, saying yo, everyone.
All right, so let's move on to the
awesome
next
night.
Now, this is the one I feel like I threw as a curveball in here because I really, ironically enough, I was living in I was living in North Carolina, and I wanted to watch a horror film. And there was not a lot that was online. And I remember hearing about this. And this is the fourth film in a series of horror films. And it's a series of zombie horror films that are like extremely over the top. Like, the story's really good.
There's no such thing as an over the top zombie movie. Come on.
If you see Rec 1, if you ever seen the movie Quarantine, the one that was released here in the U.S., Quarantine was kind of cool. It was like found footage horror film. You're dealing with people locked in this space and they can't really move around. Rec is found footage but it switches between the found footage and actual actual movie, and you get like a lot of that kind of go between. So it's campy. There's moments of where you're like, what the ever living hell is going on here?
There was actually
George. Like, oh, the found footage makes sense.
There was actually George Romero.
Man.
George Romero actually did something similar.
Again, ironically enough, when if you guys don't know, it was released at TIFF. TIFF is a Toronto International Film Festival. Dave and I would love to get invited there someday. Because I would love to go there to see, because there are a lot of great films that get shown there that we never will get to see.
It's not that far for me.
I mean, hell, it's a flight. It'd be a flight for me to New York, and then a flight from New York to go to Toronto. So, again, if you guys, any representatives like what we do, and then want to invite our boy Colin, we'll come out and we'll gladly sit and watch horror films and give you guys our.
Maybe we'll have to look into the process and how you can potentially get into that.
There are several. I've looked a little bit into it, but we'll go into that another time. Now, obviously, it gets a low rating, and it's exactly like I said. But I want to hear my friend's opinion, so we're going to start with Colin, and then we'll go to Dave. So, Colin, let's give our guest Dave. Let's be fair with our guests. We give him the spotlight. So, Colin, what did you think of this?
Pretty much what you said. It's entertaining. It's definitely not one of my favorite things to watch, but I think that because 1, 2, and 3 are all available to watch on streaming. I couldn't find this one to watch anywhere. I had to ask you about it. But 3 I didn't care for. This one definitely is a step in the right direction. But,
and I felt like one was really good.
Yeah, yes.
And she's actually the same actress from the first one to come back. Like, she's the main character from the first one that comes back in the fourth one, which I thought was kind of interesting that the director would bring her back.
I think 3 was the only one I didn't really care for, like, at all.
Yeah, 3. Everybody said 3 is the worst one. They said it. So if you watch these films, they said 1 was great, 2 was okay, 3 was terrible, 4 was like, thank you, because 4 was like 1. It's on the same level as 1. They were that good. Again, but I think they're good. Like you said, you agree. They're kind of good for what it is. Now, Dave, what do you think?
Well, what I was going to say before was, no budget. It was made for free.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, before Dave gives his opinion, folks, it is a pain in the ass if you guys don't understand to do the research on these things, because I don't sit there and just go, I'm going to go to one site. I dig, ask questions. I do have 1 or 2 friends that actually work in Hollywood that I've reached out to. I even had a friend that lives in Mexico, and he has very few ties. And I was like, maybe there's like some website I read Spanish, but I figured I was like, maybe there's a website in Mexico that he has access to. Nope, not a thing.
It's a found footage movie, so it was free to make. I mean,
exactly, why wouldn't anybody want to see a found footage film of a girl get bitten on her leg on her wedding day and has to survive, a zombie apocalypse?
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I've watched so many different zombie movies. I mean, this is not the worst zombie movie I've ever seen, okay? Or the worst undead horror movie. That might be held for one particular movie, which is, I'm sure you guys probably have never heard of it or seen it. A Polish Vampire in Burbank. That is an actual horror movie.
Vampire in Brooklyn. Are we talking that level of bad?
And his name is Dupa. And if you're Polish, you know what Dupa means.
I'm gonna say shit.
No, it means your butt, your ass.
Your Dupa. Shit comes from.
Your Dupa. Did you wipe your Dupa? Sandada pop.
That's a movie I probably wouldn't even give a chance.
Exactly, I wouldn't even watch it.
I mean, at one point, a vampire is like it's just like he's a skeleton walking around. It's something along the animation style of not even the Evil Dead or Army of Darkness when the skeletons are walking around. That's like light years beyond what they did in that movie.
Was it the Italian director that got like banned because he tried to remake Conan?
This might have been this might have been late 70s, honestly.
It might be. I gotta look it up now. Now, see, he's
Polish Vampire in Burbank.
Put this in my brain. Now I gotta look it up.
Yep. But I mean, like, as far as like found footage movies, George Romero actually did one called Diary of the Dead.
Yes. I did not like that film.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, it's a you can kill like an hour and a half with it. It's nothing. It's nothing to write home about. Like I said, I've seen worse horror movies, so I mean, this one, I mean, it wasn't that bad. Like you said, like a woman getting her leg chopped off. I mean, well, we've kind of already seen that. Grindhouse.
I was gonna say Grindhouse.
Yeah, did they
Rose McGowan, she gets the machine gun leg. Remember?
I love Grindhouse.
Yeah, that's a great movie. That and Death Proof. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a sequel. It's a series. Like, I love zombie movies. I love like Living Dead, Your Walking Dead style. I mean, as long as it has some, it doesn't have to have a whole story to it. It doesn't have to have much story to it. Just give me the action, and I'm kind of good for it the most part. I just, it's curious to see how different producers or different writers will kind of create the lore or the rules, the physics of the dead, so to speak. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, like we see, like you said, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 68%. I might honestly give it maybe 60 or 55% in my personal opinion.
Would you watch it again? Like, I wouldn't watch it again.
If I was just gonna have a lazy day where I just wanted to watch some zombie movies and I was going down the list, or maybe I stumbled across it, yeah, I'd watch it again.
It would probably, this is because there's movies like this that I've watched again, but it would be long. It'd be a while from now. It'd be like, I kind of forgot about it. I'd be like, and I'm looking for something to watch. I might watch it again, but
it's like if you stumble across it, like, yeah, I'll watch it again.
It'll be years from now though. Like
6 years from now, 7 years
it'll
from
be
now.
a while. I'll be flipping through whatever we're using to stream shit at that point, and
I mean, a perfect example is like vampire movies, Blood Rain 2. The first one's it's it's okay.
We had the Terminatrix, Christina Lorcan in that. She's awesome.
No, in the first one, they get a different actress in the second one.
Yeah, the second one I don't even know. Was it
a
porn star, I think?
I don't think it was Jenna, but it was like someone along those lines. I mean, that's the thing. That's this, guys. Yeah, we'll remember the first one. The second one, not so much. I mean, there are some movies that are forgettable and skip over. I mean, what about Leprechaun Back to the Hood?
Oh God.
Because there's Leprechaun in the Hood, but then there was Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Okay, or Leprechaun in Space. I mean, those are awesomely bad movies, but we'll watch them.
Yeah, but see, they're bad, but they're awesome at the same time. So
a
little different. You can't really compare this one to that.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's this is definitely something like back in the day when Sci-Fi Channel would do like Saturday night horror movies or some kind of like movie that they produce. I'm not talking Sharknado. Don't even go there, Dre. I know you're thinking about that.
Oh no, I wasn't even thinking that. I'm thinking back to Sci-Fi when it was actually Sci
SCI,
not the SYFY BS that they're doing now.
I mean, it was the kind of movie you would catch on Saturday night on Sci-Fi Channel, basically.
You're right.
It has that vibe,
So it gets the same. You can tell the three of us are all giving it the same level of rating, folks. It's not the greatest. Do I think a good one? It's a good work watch, and then 10 years down the line, if you ever think to watch the four of the movies again, there you go. That's
you got to realize what you're watching and just appreciate it for what it is. I mean, it's not a Guillermo del Toro movie. It's
no, it isn't.
Probably up and coming film director.
Oh yeah, it was. He was literally the producer and the writer. The writer was somebody who had done a couple other like small films, and Julio Fernandez was I think was his first film in the series. But he was like
was he
contemporary.
Was he the director as well? Because you don't have the director listed here.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
So Julio Fernandez is the director, but he's also the director from one of the earlier films that was good, the first two, and that's what he came back to help do this one. Because I know Manuela, there was a whole lot of conspiracy with her not wanting to do the film and trying to get her back, and it's like getting Jamie Lee Curtis back for Halloween. Just if you had to compare, it was a big deal.
And honestly, with zombie movies, we've seen them have a character featured in a movie and then bring them back a couple sequels later. We saw that heavily with the Resident Evil movies.
Yep.
Michelle Rodriguez and several other actresses appeared in one movie, but then they wouldn't reappear until 2 or 3 film sequels later. So, I mean, we've seen it kind of a trope done. So, you know, but also it kind of hooks people in because, wait, oh, so-and-so's back. They're kind of curious to see where this character might be right now in that universe. So
Terminator did it. We just saw that with the recent Terminator film, which was actually a good film. Like if you and we're gonna do that. That's on the list of things for next year, folks. Just in case.
Are you talking about Terminator Dark Fate?
Yeah, it's actually. I think it's a good film. Not great. It's good because Schwarzenegger actually was there and useful.
But see, Dre's gonna hate me because I think I enjoyed Genesis a lot more.
Oh God, Genesis was terrible. Even though I love Gabriel. He was such a good actor.
Gabriel was in Dark Fate.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I was right. So then your crap movie was Genesis was terrible. Genesis was the Terminatrix. That's where Christina Lorcan came in.
No, that was Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Ew, even worse. See, look, my brain
because and then after that you had Terminator Salvation, which took place in the future.
Genesis,
and then we had Genesis.
Genesis was basically the first one.
Yeah, it was. They just got younger people, so they were hoping to kind of like, oh, we can start telling stories from a different perspective. But they painstakingly recreated a lot of things. But we're getting off the subject.
So let's go to the next one. So that way we bring us back. All right, this film was damn near impossible for me to watch. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get to watch all of it. I had to watch like clips of it through YouTube and through Bibly. It was a Asian site that had some of the clips of the film. Fantastic Fest is a film festival that happens partially in the U.S., partially also overseas. I loved the idea, the story behind this film. That's what really kind of drew me to want to leave this film up. Again, not a lot of information on the budget because Mr. Constandese couldn't find anything really about him. And it's very hard. And you figure with the way we have so much information at our fingertips,
you would think someone would put it down somewhere.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there was a lot of websites that were like, you could buy this on Blu-ray, you could watch this on, they were giving me their opinions, but not a lot of the core data.
You can buy this for $19.99, but we can't tell you how much we spent to make it.
And then when you like go to like look for data, like I went to like a film archive website. I even went to some universities that were doing film studies, and this was in their film study. There was not anything that professors could even give me as information to really draw out of it. Now, again, this kind of plays for those of you that are been following us. It goes back to the childhood trauma, which Colin, Dave, and I agree that is what draws us in as horror fans. It is that, think of when you were a kid, what scared the ever living bejesus out of you? What could be the worst case scenario? Like, and this is it. People say found footage is scary. No, it's not. Blair Witch was scary. No, it's not.
Oh,
these are films that play up on this trope, which I'm noticing is not even really a very used trope.
You're not allowed to mention Blair Witch in my presence.
Well,
I was working for General Cinema at the time when Blair Witch came out. So many people were throwing up because of the motion, the found footage, how you're swaying back and forth, all the movements. Elderly, young, everyone was just like they were just nauseated, or they were literally throwing up. And
yeah, I like
people walked out of it. I mean, it was a new concept, but like found footage was a VHS, and there's a few other films that have done a good job with found footage. But then you get some people who like, hey, I'm just gonna do this. They think, oh, it's a cool idea, so we're just gonna go with that approach. And like you said, the previous film had a balance of regular film, and then you have the found footage.
Yeah, they interlace the two, so you were getting both sides of it. I feel like with these sorts of films, like with this film in particular. So we're moving up into 2017. I never even heard of this film until I started doing research, and it has drawn a lot of ire in the film community because they felt like it was too realistic.
Mhm.
And that's another thing where horror gets like a lot of people that are very critical of horror films. They'll say like, "Oh, it's too realistic," and they don't want that. They want to go for the
Mhm.
suspending the disbelief. I think that actually lends its credence to be a better film, in my mind, because I want to see something that's based on some level of reality. Have you ever seen? I don't know if you two have seen it, and anybody in the chat, if you guys have seen it, chime in. Have you ever seen I Kill Giants?
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
That film, Colin, as a dad, does that film not hit you in the heart?
yeah.
As a just a guy that's ever had a family member pass, that film, and that's when I say it like that, folks. I Kill Giants and this film are films that are not shown and should be shown to your children, your nieces, your nephews, your younger siblings. You should show them that film once they're 11 or 12 years old, because this does the fantastic job of blending that childlike innocence with the harsh reality. That's my take on this, and I would say if you could, it's worth in my opinion, just from what I saw, it's worth the $20 Blu-ray purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Colin, what do you think?
I watched this twice now. I watched it last night. I watched it today. It's definitely worth the watch. I mean, take it. It doesn't even have to be a horror movie. I mean, there's kids that are really living like this.
Yeah,
and I mean, there is no stronger kid. I'm sorry, like this. It's tragic.
It's horrible.
Anybody thinks they have a hard time here? I mean,
no, and it chokes you up because like I think about it and I'm just like, yeah. I mean, look at just the ratings before we get to Dave. Look at what the aggregate sites are giving it, and the Rotten Tomatoes score. That's the score the fans gave it. That's not the score the critics gave it. The critics gave it a high 90s, but the fans all said that it's like certified. Even on the Blu-ray case, it says certified rotten. I was like, all right, this might be one that needs to make it.
For the most part, it's all young kids, and then I mean, not to mention you got Tenoch in it. I love him. I loved him in Narcos. He killed it.
He's so good.
Yeah,
so
he
good.
killed it as what's it called in Black Panther. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he killed it as Namor.
Yeah, Namor.
So yeah, folks, I love the fact that you can look at a film through a different lens and see that. So Dave, what do you think of this film?
Well, unfortunately, I did not get to watch this one, so I must abstain.
Okay, so then this is one that when I get it, I will send you the slip so you can watch it, because I think you need to see this. It is, I think this would be one of those films that like, okay, I'm gonna date myself here. You know, you guys remember Sally Struthers when she'd be like, "And you too can feed a kid here in Africa for like $5 a day."
Dre, I'll do you one better. Remember when she was on the All in the Family show?
Yes. So you and I are the same age. I figured Colin's a little younger than us. So I figured he might have seen that on television, like when they used to late night TV.
It was like you can feed a Ethiopian child for like 5 cents a day.
Yeah, I remember
those. Sally Struther, feed the children fun. Yeah, that's the reference.
So folks, for you that don't know, take that child that you see in the background with the flies flying around his head. He's having a good day compared to the kids in this movie.
Yeah.
Just to give you that perspective. So again, a lot harder edge, a lot stronger a feeling in your gut. It's a very good film. I would say if you're not a fan of horror, like Colin said, it's just a damn good movie to watch. Just rewatch.
There's a paranormal part to it, but like it doesn't. Well, there doesn't need to be. It doesn't take anything away from it. It doesn't make it any less real. It's
even though I haven't seen this movie, let's be honest, kids can be pretty damn surprising. They can be stronger than a lot of adults in the world. Because at certain ages you can see things, kids can see things in a light that no one else can see. They can see good, they can see evil a lot of times. Some people like to call it an alpha state. But I mean, growing up, we've all seen movies, we all seen stories where there's a kid going on what seems to be an impossible adventure, or sometimes there's a childlike character that seems like they're not giving up. They haven't been through a tough life, or they, maybe they're going through a situation where they've lost everything, but they're still pushing forward. So, I mean, I'm not surprised hearing what Colin has said, hearing what Dre has said about this movie, that there's this child character, and then reading like the blurbs we have here. Was it the Peter DeBruge of Variety says the actors may be young, but the story skews decidedly mature. After all, in her commitment to realism, Lopez allows terrible things to happen to the kids, including death in several cases, and that's hard thing to accept, not because it doesn't happen in the real world, but on the account of the melodramatic and manipulative way such tragedy is handled. I mean,
it really is.
Death is hard enough as an adult, let alone a child.
Honestly, I think people should watch this movie just because there's a lot of Americans that I don't think they really understand what it's like down in South America. And they walk around with a head under a fucking blanket.
Yeah,
I mean, watching this, I mean, this is really going on.
I mean, there's so many people walking, like you said, like walking, they have their head in the ground or whatever, a lot. There's so many people that have blinders on. And you've heard some people say to their kids when the kids graduating high school, "Oh, what are your plans? Are you planning to go to college? Or hey, maybe you should go take a trip around the world, or take a trip somewhere you've never been before, to kind of open your mind to certain things." I mean, there are some people that learn more on the streets than they do in a 4 or 6 year educational program through colleges in some cases. Yeah. So hearing you and Dre say, this is a powerful story, and these kids are going through death, or experiencing what it means to lose people. I mean, to me, that gives more of an education than most things.
It really does. And at the end of the day, it's trauma is a real thing, no matter what culture. Like Dave was when we began this whole thing, which is kind of interesting. We started with like the way Dave opened it, which I loved that how he did it. Trauma doesn't know culture, doesn't know race, doesn't know color, doesn't know gender. Trauma is trauma, and the thing is it better to be an adult to handle your trauma, or is it worse to be a kid dealing with it? Because a kid does not have the skill set that an adult has. And you got to realize the older we've gotten, and whether you have kids or you're an uncle, you're an aunt, you're a dad, a brother or sister, it is a completely different set of skills to deal with your trauma, but to see another person go through it, there's an empathy that kicks in. And this movie will provide you that level of empathy and offer, like Colin said, the supernatural element to kind of spice it up. But I think it's not even like it's a caveat, not the film.
Yeah.
Well, going to what you just said, I'm going to answer that question, at least in my opinion, my perspective. I think it's better as a child, because the younger you are, you can overcome a lot as a child. You can overcome adversity. You can overcome, well, I shouldn't say overcome loss, but you can still grow forward. You can still move forward. And because I think it's harder to lose people the older you get.
It is.
I mean, I'm turning 45 this month. This is going to be 11 years that my mom has been gone. And it's going to be, I think, 4 years now. My father's been gone. And to me, my father, who's actually my stepdad, technically. I know this sounds crazy, but I honestly felt his loss a little bit more than I did with my own mother. But as an adult, it's kind of hard to, because one, you've had these people in your lives, or you have someone close in your life, and now they're not there anymore. And let's be honest, the older we get more set in our ways. We're more, kind of used to certain things. That's why it's hard for some older generations to change their point of view or to get an open perspective. That's why, I mean, think of like if you have family members who might have a certain kind of a bigotry towards whether a race, a culture, or a certain way of doing things. They're so closed-minded that they think they can't learn things, or they can't do this, they can't do that. You put your mind to it, you can do anything. Okay? And that's the thing. I think as a child, is it going to hurt? Yes. Doesn't change the hurt. But I think as a child, you can overcome obstacles. You can overcome things. You can, you know, you're not stuck in this dark cave. You as a child, that light is a little bit more reachable. And even though I haven't seen this movie, I'm from listening to you guys, that's kind of what I'm getting here is, and it says in the title, Tigers Are Not Afraid. I mean, obviously there's a lot of darkness there, but you see that there's kind of a little aura of light around this child in the poster. So obviously, without even knowing this movie, obviously there's a lot of dark imagery, but there's light surrounding this child, which obviously tells me that the child must represent some kind of force, some kind of bravery, something inside without even knowing what the movie's clearly about. But the imagery is already there, presented in that poster. So
again, go to Shudder, folks. If you want to find it, Shudder has it. That's where a lot of people can watch it. You can purchase this movie on Amazon. I don't have an affiliate link,
okay.
But I do know that Colin, I think you have an affiliate thing with Amazon too, right?
No, not Amazon.
I know he does it with Entertainment Earth.
Entertainment Earth. I think we all do.
I was gonna plug him. I was gonna plug our boy if he did. But if in case, maybe we should put an affiliate link up, me and Dave.
But that's Shudder, SHURRUDDER. Shudder, not Shutter, but Shudder.
Yeah, SHUDDER. That's how you spell it, folks.
SHRU.
No, not R. It's SH.
Okay. Just make sure.
So just follow that. Now the next movie, I think this is our last one for the evening. La Llorona. Now this is straight up and down for anybody that does not know. This movie has been done in a few different iterations.
Yep.
This is more an homage movie. And by the word homage, I know that I've been using a lot of big words.
Tribute. Honor.
A tribute kind of to the actual folklore of La Llorona, which is the weeping woman. Now, the weeping woman story in Latin American culture was that a woman who had her children playing by the creek. She was her husband was in the fields working. So the children go out to the creek and they don't know how to swim. She's putting up laundry and notices the kids have not returned home. She goes to the creek and she finds her children dead. So she uncontrollably just starts bawling, as any parent would, and to the point that the spirit, she dies from grief, but the spirit lived on. And then the spirit becomes malevolent and evil and twisted. And what it would do is, you would hear the wailing and the crying of a woman by the river, and that would call children to the river, and they would drown because she was seeking out the love of the loss of her children. Now, Jairo Bustamante both produced this film, he helped write this film, and I'm going to tell you, if you want to see a film that's creepy, this is the one to really watch. It is not something that like you're like, oh man, it's not like the other ones where I know Colin like shook his head because he knows the other Jorona films are like straight up campy horror films. They're like, it's the Jorona, and if you guys have followed the Conjuring universe, you know La Llorona is in the universe of the what's it called, of the Conjuring universe, but it's not that campy. This is a film that really hits during a time of cultural war in Mexico, and it's semi-modern. It's not fully modern, so don't. It's not like present day. It's more like 70s, 80s ish time period. So, and we never got an American release here. It was only done in Venice and at TIFF, and it's again you can see it on Shudder. But again, I'm gonna stop talking because I want to hear what my friends have to say about it. So, Colin, what do you think?
I enjoyed it. To me, it was another one of those where you're kind of like, what's going on the entire movie until until it comes together. Definitely want to watch this one again because I started to watch this one. I didn't finish it last night, and then I watched it again today. But I definitely want to watch this one again. Like you said, it's nothing like the Conjuring universe one, which I like that one. Don't get me wrong, but this one's different. It definitely is different.
Yeah, it hits you in a way that
there's
like go ahead.
There's like another story going on at the same time, like
it's her story. You're getting really her story,
right.
And then the folklore, which I loved.
Yeah.
So Dave, I assume you watched this.
I have to abstain.
Oh
I
my
did not
goodness.
get to watch this one.
Dave is getting 2 demerits. He got 2 demerits.
Yes,
folks.
yes. I've been a bad Dave this week, guys. Sorry.
He didn't get to do his homework. Bad Dave.
Bad Dave.
But again, like when you watch her story, and I think the Maria Mercedes is the actress. You really feel for her character because she's going through a lot. And then like the folklore of La Llorona, and it's like it feels very, I guess the proper critical term would be atmospheric. It has like this aura around the whole film. Like things are going bad. Even though it's very bright, like you can see this poster. Does this poster look like a sad movie? Like if I were to take La Llorona off of this, you'd probably think that this could be like a cologne ad. It's a lady that's laying down on a thing. You could have thought this was a religious film. It could be a modeling poster.
Slay her with desire.
Exactly. Like desire. Or it could be like a soap opera, right? You think maybe it's a Latin soap opera, like.
All my laundry will be back after these messages.
So
perfume ad.
A perfume ad. Exactly. See, these are all the things that went through my mind when I saw this poster. Because if you look at the other ones, folks, they don't hide it. And the other La Llorona films don't hide it. They show the woman like she's all like, she's got like, you see tears keep running down her face. And it's like this constant look of evil, and they play up on the spirit of her.
I'm just thinking, it could have been something from Maxim back in the day.
Yeah. Wow, that's really dating us for the 90s right there. Again, it's one of those films like I know there was a longer list. Colin knows, he saw the other 8-page list I did, which had like Madres on it, and there are several other films that
you guys have no idea like how many films Dre was actually considering.
I had 8 or 9 on the list. 8 or 9, and then I had to trim it down because I had to be fair to the guys, because I don't want people just to not do their homework. But it's tough when you're looking through, and I'm glad that we see that there's horror movies outside of typical, what's the word? Typical American horror movies that we see. Like I think the next one I'd love to do are like the Asian ones. Like this film series has made me want to do like The Eye,
Well, I think the best way of putting it is you don't have to color in between the lines. You can go outside the lines.
True. But think about it this way. When you watch, and Colin, I'm going to ask you this too. when you watch these types of films, doesn't it evoke a different feeling than when you watch like Nightmare on Elm Street, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or like The Devil's Rejects? Like, all good films in and of their own rights, but what do you feel like? Don't you feel different when you watch a film like this versus that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like,
And like, go ahead.
those other movies you said, like, those are totally, like, those kind of movies totally desensitized to. Like, they're good, but you don't get that feeling from them anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I've always loved horror because of that. Your hair standing up on the back. Like, anybody that loves horror knows what you're talking about. It's hard to explain, but
It's that feeling of it's not the dread feeling. It's like, for I think folks, with the way I can best equate it,
you don't know what's
for
going
you,
on. And
if you're a roller coaster enthusiast,
there you go.
it's like getting on that roller coaster and you're at the apex. You're gonna go right down, and it's like you're about to like hear the thing go click and then drop you.
You
It's
know,
that sense.
something's coming. You don't know when it's coming, and
Yeah.
that's the best part about horror to me.
I mean, there's suspense. There's that question. Well, how are they even going to get out of this situation? I mean, like Saw was like an adrenaline shot into the horror industry, I think.
It was the
Because
original one.
the original. I mean, I stopped watching after 3, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
It's
I
kind,
haven't
it's
watched
it was kind of like the Scream movies until Dre got me watching the rest of them. But I mean,
Don't blame me. They got good.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely got better. But I mean, it's I mean, do you just want to see? I mean, back in the 80s, it was all slasher flicks for us. It didn't have to make sense. All we knew, I mean, unless you watched the very first Friday the 13th, you didn't know the story behind Jason, or who was really behind the hockey mask for the very first film. You didn't know that stuff unless you watched the first film. You just knew that this was a killer who carried a machete or some kind of sharp blade, walking slowly after teenagers who were not exactly doing their camp counselor duties at Camp Crystal Lake. Or Michael Myers. There was you didn't get, there was no real substance. It was just like slasher flicks. We're watching pretty people get chopped into bits, hung up. I mean, at least with Freddy Krueger, you had comedy to it. He always had the one-liners.
He talked so much shit.
Yeah,
it's what I loved him, because he would talk
Robert
shit.
Englund killed it though, man. He was great at that. But I mean, that's the thing. We didn't have substance to the stories, and now we're getting that. Sometimes they kind of regurgitate, like you mentioned, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, they've redone those. I mean, when I hear Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I don't think of the recent part 2. I think of part 2 that came out in like mid to late 80s, that dealt with, they were killing people to use the flesh and the blood as a prize-winning chili sauce. To me, that was comical, but that's kind of the films we had back in the 80s, or like Chucky.
Have either of you two seen the movie? And this is gonna be this is an older one when I think of it. Have you seen the film Midnight Meat Train?
Oh yeah.
Ving Rhames, not Vinny Jones.
Yeah, Vinny Jones and
Bradley Cooper.
I don't think I've seen that one. I mean, I've seen a lot of horror movies like Chopping Mall and a whole.
I actually just watched that one again recently.
Yeah, because that one's based on a Korean film, which they made.
It's called Midnight Meat Train.
Midnight Meat Train. It was. I remember watching it when IFC, when I had cable. IFC was a channel, the International Film Channel.
You had cable?
Yeah, when I used to have cable, TV, not the internet, but TV. And Midnight Meat Train was one of those films that was like, it could happen. And it was such like a voyeuristic film, because you're like, Bradley Cooper did such a great job. And then you have Vinny Jones doing his
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, Vinny Jones.
Brooke Shields.
That was like Bradley Cooper before Bradley Cooper.
Oh yeah, that's before Rocket Raccoon and the Hangover.
Tony Curran.
Mm-hmm.
And well, Peter Jacobson, I know him from House and a few other shows that he's appeared in. He even had a small stint on The Walking Dead, actually.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I
Well,
gotta
first
just
we
say
got
that.
LeBron popping up. LeBron, I knew you would hello, you sexy beast. Mission is still going for Face of Horror, still in first place. Please go
Oh,
vote for
yeah.
Colin.
I
That's
think-
right. Our boy is in a contest to be the Face of Horror. So make that happen. Now, Colin, do you have a link or anything you can share into the chat?
Yeah, the links are in my Instagram. Let me see if
Okay.
I can.
And your Instagram is still, it's just EC Collecting, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
guys, let's just do this real quick. I'm going to remove this for a second. We're going to make Colin the big one here.
You mean
So-
I was like, no, my boy.
So it's at EC Collecting, or is that your YouTube handle there as
That's
well?
no, it's at ec.collecting. That's my
Okay.
Instagram handle.
So guys, go ahead and check out his Instagram and please help Colin become the Face of Horror.
Yeah, you get like a free vote. Use your free vote every day.
Yeah.
And it refreshes every day. Do that.
And also,
I've been
if
doing
people really want to go that extra mile, they can actually pay to do more votes in one day,
Mhm.
correct? Not to be confused with his only freaks page that he has. No, I'm kidding.
that. Coming
Hi,
in
hi, hi.
2024.
So faceofhorror.org/2023/Colin hyphen, how do you pronounce your last name?
Hennekins.
Not to be confused with Heineken, but still tastes just as
Not
nice.
the piss flavored beer. When I used
And
to drink.
Rolando, thank you for dropping Colin's Instagram in the chat as well, guys. So guys, go ahead and click those links and let's help our brother out.
Always. So I have a question, folks. You guys see us have guests on, and it's fun. I love the interaction. I love Dave and I love having people on, especially when it's movie talk, because when you have
Yes,
somebody that's
he
very
is.
interested in movies like Colin, and especially this is a genre of film I know Colin loves. This is not me going to, like, let's talk martial arts films. We probably could, but I know his bread and butter. So we try to like tailor our guests to the content that they're going to be interested in. I don't want him to just be here just to be here. We love him, and he can come on the show anytime he wants. I just would rather him like what he's doing. So I know, Colin, you took a little bit of a break. But do we have anything coming up in the pipe for you that we should be checking out soon on your channel?
Any special content?
Well, there'll be content going up on my EC Collecting channel tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of taken a break from Well It Effing Figures. It's not like a real official break. I've been laying low for a couple weeks because I'm figuring stuff out and making some changes, and I've just had a lot of stuff going on, so I really haven't.
Well,
I'll be back. I'll be back on it soon.
I mean, just like with regular jobs, sometimes you need to take like a mental health day, just kind of like clear your thoughts and just kind of like maybe just zone out and recollect yourself. So
yeah, with everything
don't
going on,
forget,
it was a lot. It's a lot to do by yourself. So
I know it is. It's a lot, and I know that if you ever need me and Dave are great guys to just lean on. You know that from the years that
wait.
us.
Are you saying that because I'm a big guy?
I'm a big.
Are you making fun of my weight?
Big guy too.
No.
I'm sitting here.
This is crust.
I'm just so big, but yeah, listen. Honestly, Colin, if you need help, just hit us up. I'm not even. That's neither here nor there. But I do want you to plug your other thing, because I've recently started following on YouTube Rami the Icon, and I love that guy. He's hilarious, and I know you have a shoe. You've been a shoe fan, and I know that JJ is a shoe fan.
Wait.
And I saw you posting some content.
A sneakerhead?
Yes, he is.
I sure am.
He's one of
And
them.
it's definitely cool.
Lifelong.
Gilster's in the chat. What's up?
Those shoes looked awesome. You posted, by the way, just to let you know.
My account got sold.
Folks,
I'll throw the link up for that too. Give me 1 second.
now, check that out. If
are you a collector, or do you also modify shoes too?
No, I just whatever I buy.
Okay.
I wear everything I buy. I've never got into the sneaker customization. I would love to, but that's just another rabbit hole to go down.
That's one thing I would just love to have is I want someone to do like some custom shoes one of these days, but I know that that's cheddar, which I don't have. So
Yeah,
it's expensive.
Definitely depends who you're doing it through, but yeah, I mean, shoes in general are expensive now. So
well, I looked out and got some Jordans at the outlet store for $60, but they're black on black on black. I just wish they had a little bit of color pop into them, you know.
ooh, get some markers and mark them up.
I'm saying.
I was honestly thinking about that. I was gonna look up some videos and maybe, you know, do a little experiment. Because I mean, for $60 to get a size 15 wide for $60 at the outlet, some Jordans, I mean, that's kind of like a no-brainer right there.
So LeBron, I'm gonna tell you, I love you, brother. And we're excited here too, but we are not gonna talk about those films until
the SAG strike.
Until SAG, because the Writers Guild, they figure this shit out. They're good. But until SAG figures their stuff out, you know, we have to take a hiatus from talking about some of the newer stuff.
I mean, hypothetically, you could we could talk about the trailer that had came out before the strike, but that's about it.
Oh,
talk about the video game.
I can't wait for that movie.
It looks good. It does look good. I will say from the trailer alone, I'm interested, and I did play the video games. I replayed them on the Switch, and I liked it.
And so actually, a good friend of ours, Bug, has been replaying them on Wednesdays.
Yeah, she does.
She had a video this morning playing Five Nights at Freddy's. So, but Colin,
the first time I played that with my son, I was sitting on the edge of the bed, and I was not expecting that jump scare at the end, and I flew off the backside of the building. It was so funny. My son was just laughing.
I wish we could have had video of that to see that. Like,
I wish they have those games plus a few additional games that have been made as companion pieces to Five Nights at Freddy's, and they're all on Steam right now. So if anyone is a fan and they're looking to play those games, but Colin, did you ever see Willy's Wonderland?
Oh yeah, yep, I have that one.
What'd you think of that one?
I love Willy's Wonderland. It was kind of like it was because we've been waiting for a Five Nights movie to come out forever, so that was kind of like it kind of held us over until now. And we're
I love that Nicolas Cage got paid and not say a word.
Oh yeah, dude.
You hear him grunt, and that's about it.
It's a great movie. I just love how he beats the shit out of those.
It's true.
There's no messing around, dude. He just
he's he's got like an what is it OCD where he has to do certain things like in a pattern almost.
Yeah.
But it's great.
The ostrich is I think my favorite fight with him and the ostrich. Oh, dude, I love that movie.
Gilster, I will address this. Dave and I have had this talk, and we are looking into next year, sprinkling in MCU style content of the TV shows into what is relevant to the films. We are trying to keep the channel specifically geared towards just older films up until I would say the last 6 months. That's kind of Dave and I's like our golden rule.
I mean,
it's not that we don't want to talk about it.
We are aware of Loki dropping, but our format has been about movies, and because of the writer's strike, which is, I believe the writer's strike has been resolved, but we still have the actors and the video game actors strike. Now the video game actors have now joined that strike. So out of respect and solidarity, we are abstaining from talking about new content out of respect. So, I mean, we are still, trust me, Dre already has us scheduled up to February, I believe you had said before.
I got us up to February, so the middle of February we're up to.
We have episodes where we're discussing 3, maybe 4 or 5 movies in some cases, and we have those all the way planned out to next year. So there's no lack of content. Trust me, we do want to create a little bit more variety because obviously, some people, they might want to hear our views on certain things. Personally, outside of the Outer Dimensions podcast, last year I was doing a stream discussing Quantum Leap. I may be bringing that back, but just doing it as straight videos. Because it all depends on what people are interested in partaking. You know, it all depends. Because I mean, you know, you might have 5 guys who, and we're not talking burger joints. You might have 5 guys who they want to hear about this show, and then you might have 10 guys who want to hear about this show. But you know, you might have 20 guys that want to hear, hey, you know, there's all these new movies, but we're bringing up movies that maybe people have not even heard of before. And as a nice little rewind, maybe they can see some of their favorite actors in a movie that they never even saw before that happened years ago. Like Dre mentioned, the Midnight Meat Train, which I looked up, and I'm just blown away. The people who are in this, I mean, Bradley Cooper, Vinnie Jones, and you know, Vinnie Jones, he's always going to be Sphinx from Gone in 60 Seconds.
Juggernaut, man. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Or what about wasn't he in Lucky Slevin in
he was in Lucky
in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
He was also in Arrow.
He's been in so many stuff.
He's been on the TV show Arrow for those.
But I'm saying like things that go further back though.
Oh yeah.
He's been around for a while. Oh yeah.
I mean, like Brooke Shields. Who knew she was still acting?
I like that you guys talk about older stuff that hasn't been really seen, because I mean, new stuff, everybody's talking about that, you know. Like there's channels.
Ted Raimi is in there.
Marvel and
honestly, Colin, you're right. Like if I want to go to like if I really wanted to, you could watch like Flickster, Black Nerd Comedy.
Yep.
You can watch a lot of those channels that talk about the brand new movies as they're like getting stuff out. I don't like that because
everybody and their grandmother covers it. And honestly, with all the new content, I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Hollywood is going to be covering it. So if you're looking for some content to possibly cover Loki season 2, I'm going to make a suggestion of reaching out to Nerd Affiliated, because they usually have the pulse on the latest and greatest in geek culture. So Hey Archer and the guys Sal and of course Rambling Nerd at Nerd Affiliated, go ahead and check them out. They're probably going to have the good 411 on there.
It'll probably be on Nerdy Coffee on Monday morning at 9 o'clock.
Well, of course, tomorrow's Thursday, so we know Thursday scheduled usually around 8:15, more likely like 8:27.
Let's just say 8:30-ish.
Yeah, Archer will go live with Nerd Affiliated, and he usually has Sal in the chat and Rambling Nerd hanging out, depending on his schedule. Y'all remember the original trailer for the first Spider-Man movie?
I do. No, wait. Are you talking 1970s, the ones before we were born?
See, that's what I was going to say.
Like the 90s?
William, you might want to. Are you talking about I'm going to say he's probably talking about the Toby Sam Raimi movies.
Yeah, I remember those.
Didn't know there was a Joker 2 till yesterday. Why? Do we really need another? Honestly, Gilster, I haven't watched the first one, to be honest. I'm that person.
My wife actually didn't go see it with me. I wanted you to go see the Joker movie with you. Yep, she I went to go see it. It wasn't a comic book film. For those of you that want to go see it, it's not a comic book film. It is a film about mental health. It is a film about mental health.
I love the first one. I thought he did an amazing job.
Oh yeah, in the second one, they said it's gonna be a musical and it's gonna be kind of like.
Isn't it Baz Luhrmann?
I don't think.
I thought it was Baz Luhrmann who was directing it.
Like the musical doesn't bother me. There's lots of musicals that I like. The only thing that worries me is the first one wasn't. So like, why is the second one like?
Because they got Lady Gaga to be in it as Harley. That's why.
Well, I guess we'll see how it is. I mean, it might not be that musical, but
no, Todd Phillips is the director for this one.
Oh, look at Blue Sasquatch. Thank you for coming through. I know Dave loves sharks. I like sharks too.
Yes. # Team Sharks.
But yeah, I mean, we don't talk about we haven't really talked about those sorts of films because again, it's not just the thing. It's like Colin said, Dave and I are 45 years old. We like older films because guess what? A lot of the older movies are good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of classics out there. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, honestly, there's some movies that if you give it a second chance, it might just become some guilty favorite of yours. Blue says he's 45. See, there you go.
There's a lot of new movies you could cover too that people don't cover.
Joker reminds me of Logan,
which we are.
Did not
we have
look
a few
like
of
a
those coming
comic
out.
book movie, which made it a great movie. Okay,
You're 100% right, JJ. 100%.
Yep.
Logan is another one of those films that's like, take apart the rest of the Wolverine films. That film alone was a damn good movie, and a lot of people slept on it.
Oh, what's up, John?
Logan was real good, and it kind of gave a nice cap to the the Fox X-Men. They kind of gave it a different twist. I mean, Logan to me could have actually happened in the MCU, from my personal opinion, because you didn't have the X-Men of the future involved in there at all. You just had Logan taking care of Xavier, hidden in like an old water tower, so to speak. It was Xavier with his fortune and everything. You tell me like no one like Moira McTaggart or Scott or anyone would be taking care of him. Like, they completely took it to to me, Logan takes place in a parallel timeline, parallel universe.
And on technicality, it does. And that's something that for those of you that have asked us, are we going to do more of the classic look at an MCU style films? It's on the docket. I'm currently kind of combing through some of the Marvel movies that are on Disney Plus and that aren't on Disney Plus, because we've covered most of Blade, we've covered Daredevil, Elektra.
We have Incredible Hulk movies we can discuss.
We haven't even gone into those. We haven't really delved
I'm talking Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't gone to Lou Ferrigno.
We had Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, God.
We had Return of the Incredible Hulk, which had a very bad Thor. And then we also had Death of the Incredible Hulk. These are 3 TV movies which were a sequel to the series. Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno playing Dr. David Bruce Banner, and of course the Hulk. So I mean, we got there's a lot of 80s greatness in Trial of the Incredible Hulk, because you get the Daredevil played by, I think he was Rex Simon was the actor's name.
Yep, Rex Simon.
He was in there, and of course John Rhys Davies, who was Professor Arturo from Sliders, and of course we know him as Sala from Indiana Jones.
He was also Kingpin in one of the Hulk movies. He was. Oh no!
That's what I'm talking about. Trial of the Incredible Hulk. That was the same movie. He's got these nice reflective glasses.
So he played oh God.
So I mean, we have a lot coming through the pipeline, guys.
We ever get, let's put it this way: if Dave and I ever got big, like blew up, and we wanted to branch off this channel, we would go into the 80s television shows like that and could do so many the spin-offs of spin-offs of spin-offs.
Yeah. I mean, I can't fault that. I have to agree with Gilster. There were a lot of parts in that movie that was hard to watch. Like Origins, like the fact that Wolverine's motorcycle coat that he's been wearing all this time was just given to him by a farmer, and he would have kept it just for that reason. And what about the Blob? The only really good thing in there was the first half of the movie with Ryan Reynolds playing Wade. And that was enjoyable.
And that became canon. Lord help me, that became canon.
Yeah, but Wade fixed it though when he went back in time.
Oh, and he's gonna fix it supposedly now. Which, if for anybody,
he's gonna fix everybody.
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, and I know it's been all over social media, I've seen it, and I'm not gonna. I'll mention it here. If you have not heard about Deadpool 3 and all the craziness, all the pictures that are being placed out, we're seeing it's happening. The rumor is it's supposed to be like a comic book style twist to end that part of the universe.
Daredevil kills the Fox universe.
Deadpool kills the Fox universe and brings in the MCU. Now there is also a rumor that lesser known people don't know, Gwenpool, who is a human brought in from the human world to the comic book world, and starts explaining to the comic book characters about this world is supposed to somehow maybe have a spotlight cameo in this movie.
But is it going to be Emma
makes me
Stone?
happy.
Is it going to be Emma Stone?
I am fingers crossed that if it is, because that would be hilarious. I would love to see them break the fourth wall again.
That would be hilarious, but I don't know if she can do the physical maneuvers, but I mean, they could fake that.
Spaceballs it. We could watch the movie right now as it happens. Look, we got the videotape. You know,
I mean,
yes, folks, Spaceballs.
But thankfully, guys, Blade, Wesley Snipes, that's New Line Cinema, which would be excluded from Fox, as far as I believe. We don't know exactly where does that lie right now.
Fox didn't have the distribution rights because when they put the Blade television show, that went on Spike TV, and Spike TV was owned by a Canadian company, which then became True TV.
Yeah, well, it was all Canadian actors in there for the most part,
except for Sticky Fingers.
Except for Sticky Fingers, and we don't talk about why his fingers are sticky.
No, you don't talk about him at all because they made him a character skin. God help me. I swear we could have. We don't talk about Sticky.
No.
Exactly, and I was just singing that song the other day about Bruno. Because I love that movie. Oh man, Dave had me rewatch that movie for another time, and I have to admit it's such a damn good movie. For people that have not seen Encanto, Colin, you seen Encanto?
You're talking about the anime,
the Disney film, yeah. The Disney one.
Yeah.
Did you like it? I'm just curious. Did you like it?
Yeah.
That song's super catchy. Even if you don't like the song, it's like I love John Leguizamo, but I love that song. It's like, damn it, why? It's like an earbug.
I said it before. I want Johnny to come back to doing some more comedy. He really needs to.
I told you, you got to watch History about of Latin American culture. What history is on Netflix? It is hilarious. As a Puerto Rican male watching it,
you guys got to do an episode where the pest is on, dude.
See?
Wait, are we getting Colin?
Jeffrey Jones?
I would definitely come on for that. There's got to be we got to find other movies that are
The Pest. You got
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. Tu Wong Fu. Tu Wong Fu has to be on that, and then we have to throw on at least one of his more current ones. I would say Sexaholics. No, I would say if you're gonna keep it comedy, Sexaholics. I love that stage show. You got to put one of the stage shows on there. You got to. Sexaholics.
There's so much that we could pick from.
The Freak. Freak was hilarious. Mambo King. More Mambo Mouth. Oh my God. I've seen them all. I have like 3 of them on Blu-ray. They're hilarious.
As long as we don't do Romeo and Juliet, please. Oh.
That wasn't a terrible film. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Like, look at my face.
I mean, Jamie Kennedy doing Shakespeare. I mean, it's not as bad as him in Son of Mask, but it's pretty close.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I went there. Bought the t-shirt and everything. I have a kid, so of course I saw Encanto. William says, the first rule of Bruno is we don't talk about Bruno.
Facts. No.
Nobody ever talks about the gates, small creatures. What about, there's the gates in Gates 2, technically speaking, which had Stephen Dorff in it.
What?
Yes.
Colin, have you heard of this?
The Gates?
I've never heard of this film.
I think so. That sounds.
Whoa! Stop it! You guys have never.
I have to look this up. I've never heard of this.
Gilster, you're getting 5,000 points because you've brought up a movie I have seen, but these two guys have not.
No, I've seen this.
You've seen The Gates?
Yeah, I've seen The Gate.
1987?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
I knew it sounded familiar. Yeah, I've seen this. Oh yeah.
I you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I never have.
The Gate, see Stephen Dorff.
And The Gate Trespassers.
Oh yeah, there's a slew of them here. So yeah.
Dre, you've had to have seen this. There's no way.
I might have. There has to. Dude, I need to see a trailer. Let me go to YouTube. I need to see a trailer.
Yeah, dude, go watch.
I want to tell you a story.
I used to believe that Jesus was.
No, we're not doing that.
Really, Jesus? We're not that kind of channel.
I was pulling up a trailer and there's a commercial, so I'm like, no. Oh, geez. Apparently
that's
YouTube
the whole film.
has the entire film.
Yeah, you can watch the film.
Yes. The Outer Dimension podcast. No, we're not doing that.
We ain't gonna get copyright struck.
As soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh yeah.
1986. Oh my!
To the most evil place you can imagine, a gate behind which
they have sound off.
That's wait to take back what was once theirs.
I hear it. I've seen this movie.
You've seen it? Okay.
Yes, I have. It's terrible, but it's so good.
I was gonna say, dude, you had to have seen this. There's no way.
I remember seeing the first. I don't think I ever saw the other ones, but I do remember seeing that one.
Dude,
okay. There's also a Gate 2.
I love all movies like that, dude.
There's also the Gate 2. I mean, it's 80s, but it is good. I mean, I haven't watched in ages, actually. Just like movies like Ghoulies and so many others.
Ghoulies. Dang, Dave hit me in the feels, man. Going with the
William was like, no.
That's like Critters and.
Well, I mean, Critters. We could do the whole saga of Critters. I mean,
do you want to though?
I don't want to. Don't make me rewatch all those movies. They were. I was about to watch.
William says I was about to catch the Holy Ghost up in here.
Monster Squad. That's on. Okay, so
we are going to be doing Monster Squad, by the way.
Yeah,
yes.
Monster Squad is coming up in the next 2 weeks before Halloween. We will have we're going to be doing. Well, obviously, might as well bring it up now, since we're wrapping things up. We are doing a tribute for Halloween. For those of you that are going to be watching, and if you want to participate, we'll have a link in the chat, maybe on one of those episodes or two of those episodes. Monster Squad is going to be part of our family-friendly horror films. For obvious reasons, there are certain horror films you can show kids that are like I'm going to say Gremlins is in that realm because it's scary, but not like, I don't think nightmare-inducing like it.
And by the way, there is a 4K version now.
Yeah, I just saw that was
Monster
released.
Squad.
And there's a lot of movies that just released on 4K. And that's something that I'm thinking about doing on my channel, talking about some of the 4K releases, because I'm liking a lot of what's coming out being re-released, and there's some things that do need to be remastered. Monster Squad, cult classic,
I mean, this is just a regular Blu-ray, but you can get it for like $11.99, just a regular Blu-ray of Monster Squad.
The Wolfman has nards.
4K. Here's the 4K version for like 50 bones.
Now you can find it cheaper at Best Buy if you go in store, or and if you go to Walmart. I know Walmart has some 4Ks up.
And we get the Puzzle Queen in the chat.
Dang,
hey Kat.
Dude, my Targets, there's like no movies left in them anymore.
Well, apparently they're going to stop carrying Blu-rays, not just the Blu-ray discs, but Blu-ray players and everything. It's I'm like,
that was part of their new planogram. I saw that when
see that's the thing. I'm trying to find a replacement Blu-ray player because we have tons of DVDs and Blu-rays in the house here, and we want to watch them. It's like, well, I don't want to pay $80-$90 just for a Blu-ray player. It used to be you can get them for like $40-$50.
I'll never get rid of my DVD Blu-ray collection. I'll never get rid of it. It's so massive. For one, I put so much time into hunting that stuff down and finding it. And I just love having the physical media.
You always, physical media, and that's something that I think I would like to do, like I said, on my channel. But physical media is something you need. I love streaming services, but you're not going to find everything on a streaming service, folks, because they got to go through the rights, they got to purchase it. There's a lot of companies that fight with each other to show certain things.
Well, and they only keep it on there for so long anyway. Like that stuff all rotates.
Oh, here we go. The Gate is on Prime Video.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And besides that, like, dude, do you really trust? Let's say you buy all your movies on iTunes,
or you can get the special edition.
There's nothing stopping them from just
taking the license.
Taking it all from you someday. Like, there's nothing that you can do about it.
Oh, and by the way, in case you got, and all of our movie fans out there, don't forget this coming Monday, Amazon Prime Day is back. So there might be some deals on if you're waiting for like a movie collection to go on sale, or your favorite show, you've been waiting to get a physical media of it. You guys might want to check out Amazon. They might have some pretty good deals. So don't sleep on it. It is technically a holiday this Monday for those who, keep the kids in the school. And if you work government jobs or banks, those are all going to be shut down on Monday. Huh?
I work Monday.
I don't.
My company doesn't close.
I don't. Sorry. So yeah, they're going to have the Amazon Prime days next week. So you guys don't sleep on it. You might, put some stuff in your cart. You might wind up getting some deals, bro. Speaking of horror movies, you guys remember the movie Neon Maniacs? I remember 10,000. There was like 20,000 Maniacs was a movie. Not the band. I'm talking about an actual movie.
Oh my God.
Neon Maniacs. I'm going to look that up.
I would have to say I don't think I've seen
AJ on one of these days. Since he's bringing up some movies, Neon Maniacs. Here we go.
I don't think I've seen this one.
Okay, let's see. What is this about? Do we have a synopsis? Trailer? Come on.
This does not look like a horror movie, JJ. That movie looks... It looks like somebody took bad Mythic Legion's cosplay and mixed it with hair bands and said, "Let's have a band."
Oh, by the way, that reminds me of another movie.
Oh Jesus, that's hilarious!
That's like the PG Guar.
It is. Say it. It was PG Guar, dude.
PG Guar.
I may need to watch this movie just
San Francisco police and teens fights water-soluble monsters with the only weapon that works.
That's what is that, like a porno?
I'm saying it sounds like I should be like prom chicken.
The only weapon that works.
It's made by Anchor Bay Entertainment, so they did a lot of 80s movies and 90s stuff. So let me see here. Made in March 1986. But speaking of, like, you were talking about like rock bands, you ever hear of a movie called Black Roses?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta write this one down because I gotta check this out.
Yeah, I already have it on my watch list here. I gotta put it out there to watch because that's hilarious.
This is one I watched years ago. It's from 1988. Takes both metal and monster madness and combines them with. Let me find the actual plot here so you guys can get a kick out of it. Here we go. A small town teacher saves teenage souls from a heavy metal rocker and his band from hell.
Oh, who doesn't want to love that? That's that's a story. It's a tale of that as old as time. Come on. But I do want, while we're looking at this trailer, I'll wait till the trailer comes up.
I won't have any sound. Don't worry.
All right. So while the trailer is playing, I do want to mention that we do have our charity that I showed the big box. I opened it up. Folks, I am floored by the generosity of the Four Horsemen. I actually reached out to the gentleman that sent it to us just to let him know that he overextended what he was doing. This box has you could win from this box, not one, not two, but one of three different. You can win 3 pins that come in the box. There's gonna be 3 different stickers, and I'll be putting some stickers in the boxes of the winners that are gonna be getting that donate to the charity. And for anybody that wants to be a Mythic Legions collector, he sent not one, not 2. 6 Mythic Legion figures.
Holy shit.
So there are, you have a barbarian, this is a dwarf, a barbarian, a skeleton, a variant skeleton, an elf. Folks, like I said, look. And this is a demon.
Wow.
So you guys, whoever wins this box and donates, and your name goes on the wheel for the mythic box, this is what you can win. This right here, folks, I will tell you the estimated value. These are $50 a figure. So that's $300. I'm just giving you guys, I'm giving that honest right now. You decide to donate to this awesome cause, you guys will have an opportunity. This will be one of the boxes. I'm literally going to leave it in the box as it is. It's the same like, what you call it, like Rex's mask that he made for Darth Maul. That is a box already pre-made. All I got to do is whoever wins it, I get your name and I slap it on the box. Now, a lot of people have not watched the video, and I don't expect a lot of people to watch it, but since we're going on several different streams, I want you to know you need to take a screenshot, folks, of your donation. Of your donation. You do not have to donate multiple times. If you choose to, you can. One donation will get you a spot on the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, we're still figuring out if we're going to have the person choose what wheel they want to be on, or we just kind of potluck it and we'll just move the names over. So you have an opportunity to win this prize, an opportunity to win one of the 5 prizes.
Well, I mean, one way we could do it is we could do it this way. We do an elimination wheel or a one and done, depending on however we want to do it. That person, and then we have a separate wheel to choose amongst the prize wheels, and we spin, and that decides what prize that person's going to get. So we have 2 separate prize wheels. One is the name of the winner, and then they will find out what their prize is.
Now, like I said,
that could be one way to do it, but we can discuss that.
It's again, you're talking to the 3 guys that are working on this thing, and this is a very important charity to me. Four Horsemen has definitely said that they will want to work with us again in the future, and they have offered to send me a box again for the next charity with signed merchandise. I mean, this is awesome.
I already know like 4 different people who will flip their wigs when they hear that there's 6 figures involved.
And this is like, and I'm going to tell you now, none of the prize boxes are under $100. Just to give you guys a perspective.
This is a Mythic Legion starter pack.
Yeah, you want to get into Mythic Legions, this is the starter pack for you.
This is the Cabal Indoctrination pack, basically.
For the, like, if their donation, and then they can pick what prize they want to put it towards. Like,
that's what I was thinking too.
At, like, festivals, you buy like a ticket for raffles, and then you pick you put
like the
you want,
like the basket raffles, yeah.
Because there might be people that all they collect is Mythic Legions.
But that could also be that could work in other people's favors, because if, like, let's say there's like, you have prize A, prize B, prize C. Well, if prize C happens to be something that maybe not too many people collect. Well, now that person's like, hey, I'm going to jump on this one.
Yeah.
But maybe that might start thinking, hey, they're starting to gain. They have like 20 people on this one. Maybe I should jump on that one,
Like, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to, my thing's going to be a Turtle 4-pack. I don't know which one yet, but, that might bring it, just because of that Mythic Legions box or like that Turtle 4-pack, that might bring in donations just because people want to enter for that specific thing. Yeah. So I think we should do that. Like, they can put their donation thing towards whatever raffle they want.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, folks, there are 5 prize packs. 5 prize packs. I'm calling it the mix prize pack, which is going to contain an anime figure. It's going to contain a horror figure and some sort of superhero figure. That's going to be one prize pack. Then there's going to be the Marvel prize pack that I've curated. That's going to have about 2 Marvel Legends, some comic books, and some swag. We then have the Turtle 4-pack. We then have the Rex mask, which
is a sick Maul mask.
Beautiful Darth Maul mask.
One of a kind Star Wars collectible.
Literally handmade, one of a kind, one of one. And then obviously we have the Star Wars hot toy. That's the final big budget item. Now, folks, this
From this
Mythics
courtesy
box
of this
right
guy.
here, exactly, courtesy of John Joker. So we now literally have about $1,000+ in prizes that you have the opportunity to win, and all you have to do is donate. And it's
No.
whatever you choose to donate, folks. I'm not going in your pockets. I'm not. This isn't coming to my bank account. This ain't going to nowhere near me.
Nope.
This literally goes. I've given you guys the links. My gentlemen here will tell you the same thing. You guys go directly to them, screenshot us, and then private message
This
myself,
guy right here.
Colin, or Dave, and just so we can catalog it. And then we're going to put your name on the wheel. And then November 18th, you tell us what wheel you would like to be on. Hey, Dre, I want to go for that Mythics one. Or hey, Colin, I want to go for that Turtle one. Or hey, Dave, I want to go for the Hot Toy one. And then we will collect and create the wheels. And you have to be on the live stream, folks. If you don't come on that live stream on November 18th, we can't help you. I want to reward you guys for being generous and helping a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
So please, we've been giving you the information. Again, this is for making sure kids have healthy food options in school. 5 states, folks. 5 states in the U.S.
Dave, don't you normally do like a $20 minimum or something?
I've done that. I've done the $20 minimum before, but what we had done, at least on some of my streams, were $20 got you entered in on all the wheels.
Okay.
So this would be something a little different where you're asking them to choose a specific wheel. I mean, we could say, hey, $10.
Yeah, I'm not saying like a 20. It doesn't have to be 20.
Yeah.
No. I would hope that
because I mean, given that all these prizes are $100 and up.
Yeah, like
one, it's only 1/10 of what some of these prizes are even starting at, and 2, let's be honest. I mean, that's like 2 cups of coffee right there. That's nothing. $10 is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. Okay. And by the way, Blue Sasquatch, who loves sharks, says he would also love 6 figures.
Oh,
just saying.
I mean,
and they are highly customizable too. Friend of the channel, Destination Stone, he heavily mods a lot of his Mythic Legions. This
is my personal one that I just got from a trade recently. It's my Orc Warrior. He's a Legion builder. I'm telling you, folks, this is a good cause. Like I said, I don't want to put a minimum on what you should donate because times are tough for everyone. Yes. But I would like to say donate what you can, and please let us know if you wish to get into multiple wheels. We will probably ask for a larger donation sum.
Dre, how much does a Mythic Legion retail for?
These are all Legion builders that are in the box. So I would say those are $49.99 a piece. A piece. So if you were to go to a show, that's $50.
So do the math. $50.
6 figures.
You're talking $300 value right there alone, just for
minus the 3 pins that are all custom pins.
I don't want people to take advantage of that, and be like, "Oh, I'm going to donate $1."
And walk away with a hot toy.
I want to say realistically, $10 I think is fair value, especially considering like we said, it's at least $100 minimum worth in prizes on each wheel.
Our lowest box is $100.
Yep.
My box and the lowest box are $100 boxes. Everything else is $200 up.
I mean, $10, that's like a movie ticket for one person right there.
Right.
If you're lucky.
That's a meal at McDonald's, folks. That's going to Taco Bell.
Wait.
Not, like I said,
that's a meal at McDonald's?
Yeah, it is. Down here it is $9.18.
I'm sorry, I spent a lot more myself.
So I'm just saying,
1 burger.
So
fries.
For you guys, if you guys really want to donate, I strongly suggest it. There are other charities that are going on currently, and I support everybody else's charity that's going on. Be mindful that this is a statewide. The money that you donate will actually go help people in your state, which I think is a good thing. I'm not saying don't help out like Sleeping Collectibles or T3. Those 2 guys are doing great things with what they're doing, and I commend them both, and I wish them nothing but success. And if I can donate to them, I will. I'm saying that this charity really hits home for me because I'm a former school teacher. My wife's a school teacher. We all have kids, nieces, nephews, cousins, brothers, sisters that go to school. You want to have this. Sometimes is the only meal they get to eat in a day, breakfast and lunch. You want them to eat better so they can think and do well in school. That's all I'm saying. And these options, $10 is, like we said, a drop in the bucket to some people. It could be a tank of gas. It's important. So just like I said, this meant a lot to Colin. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Dave, to our group, the Collector Safe Space as a whole.
I want to know where you can get a tank of gas for $10.
Other
than 1985.
He didn't say what kind of tank. It could be.
Yeah, I didn't say what kind of tank. It could be like the little.
I mean, if we're talking like the little Hot Wheels tank, okay, I can see that happening. But
yeah, Hawaii, $7, you know. But yeah, again, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know about that charity thing. It's been we started it. We want to make sure you guys know where to send your donation screenshots. Make sure we get them, and please.
I mean, whether you're doing it on computer, you can still do a screenshot. You know, if you're on a computer, all you have to do is hit your print screen button. That takes a screenshot. Then you just paste it in Paint or JPEG or whatever photos, whatever you're using, or on your cell phone. You know, you hit your volume and your power button. Usually, you can do a screenshot that way. You know, it's keep it on there. That's your digital record. But also, if you make a payment, if you make a donation, this is something I always did with my giveaways. Put your name, your screen name, let's say your YouTube or your Instagram, preferably your Instagram, because that's how a lot of us reach out to one another. We need a social media format. If you don't have Instagram, email address or something along those lines, and put your name on there. A solid way that we can contact you, whether it's Instagram, email, or phone number or whatnot, because we have to be able to reach you. Okay, because obviously those winners, we're going to get a hold of you right away. We're going to get your address information so we can get these prizes shipped out accordingly. And that's why Dre wants you to be there during the stream, so that you can get notified right away and you can say, hey, here's my information right away. We get your information right away. Now, if John Smith, comes back a week and a half later and says, hey, I was random guy 123. I was the winner. How do we know? I mean, you could have watched the stream and then messaged in and pretended to be the person. So that's why we're asking for this information. Your donation, your name, your screen name, if it's different, like if Vader Girl threw her name in there, a lot of us know her by her actual name, Kat, So I mean, we have to be able to associate, John Smith with, Bob's uncle 123, We need to be able to make that kind of connection. It helps you, it helps us, keeps everybody honest, and it's just a bit more effective that way, guys.
And just so
all unclaimed prizes go to me, so
oh hey, that's no problem.
Those unclaimed mythic legions may be going into another dimension. No,
I will say this though. If you do not, just so you know, you're not paying the shipping. Your donation, this is coming out of our pockets.
Now, are we keeping this within the United States? That's another question, because we do have a lot of international people watching, Canada and whatnot.
If it's Canada and you donate into the US, we will consult with my hive mind here, my guys here, and we will figure out what we can do as an offer for you. We'll give you something comparable. If it's a hot toy, it's going to be expensive to ship it to you.
We'll keep it open to continental US. Yes,
and if it's Canada, I know that we do have a few of you guys. We will try to figure some way out to get the item. If it's the hot toy or the mask, that's easier to get to you in Canada versus trying to ship bigger boxes that are heavy, because I know that there's a lot of cost. All right, so
just got back on Graham.
So I just wanted to give that out. And again, you're not footing the cost.
Nope.
That is up to
your entry is your cost.
Exactly. We are I will be getting I have several of the prizes being shipped to me. The only ones I don't have is the one that's going to be coming from Colin. So he will ship it from him, and that's out of his pocket. Like we've all said, I'm going to foot the ones out of here. And I have stuff coming from California, even in state, that are being donated from other guys to this. That's how important this cause is. So I don't like to rant about it. I gave a whole 5-minute video about it. I just want you guys to know it's important to all of us. And I know it's a holiday.
He never likes to rant.
Oh no, my job loves me now. They're like, you're the guy. They love it. So, but thank you guys again for coming on with us today. Thank you, Colin, for enjoying this time with us. I love that we have you on, and you're always welcome to come back.
JJ did give us the link to the trailer for Neon Maniacs, so please go ahead and check that out. It was in the chat. Copy and paste that and check it out. We're not going to play it here because we did go over our time.
But again, we all know where we can find Colin at. You guys know that he's got some content. We do know the Feral Predator from Prey is going to be releasing tomorrow. So I'm anticipating because I'm jealous because I want to get this figure. So I'm looking forward to seeing Colin's review on it. I know Dave has some content with his Proton Pack upgrades that has been released. Definitely do that and spend the time watching it.
Joe's coming out. And also, Colin and I are going to be doing a massive unboxing stream. We're going to be doing a hangout stream at some point. Yeah. So we're going to be discussing that behind closed dimensions. And so stay tuned for that. But Dre, what do you have?
As of right now,
other than perspiration.
It's hot. I have my first episode of the Cooking with Dre series. I have it on the videos are need to be.
And what are you making us?
The first episode I did ropa vieja. So I made basically Cuban, Puerto Rican infused shredded steak. So it's cooked over hours. But the video is not going to go over hours. I cut the video at points so you guys will get to watch it. That's going to hopefully go up on Saturday afternoon. I did have a video go up today that a lot of people responded to. That was my old horror statues, because those statues are I said in the video, I made a comment where I would never get rid of them. But then a few years later, this beautiful little girl came into my life. And I said, goodbye, statues. So they're all gone, but it was cool to watch the video again.
Okay.
And I do have some reviews that are being filmed on Sunday, hopefully, for some figures, because I do have a bunch of cherry-picked figures I want to do reviews on. I know LeBron just did the IDW Turtles. I'm going to be doing my own review on them. And yeah, I got some, and I know Reading with Dre comic books. I have the Misery 2, the Cult of Misery book issue 2. I'll be reading Sunday to get up hopefully for next week.
Yeah, we need to make a Reading Rainbow theme for you.
We do, and I'll talk to you about that. So that's again behind closed dimensions. But yeah, thank you guys again for really coming through. We really appreciate the chat. It was extremely vibrant. Good, hey Ricardo. And I know there's a lot of team replay because we do go long. And again, when you listen to us on the podcast, it's always just it's again, if you want to go through our podcast and listen to us, Spotify, we are on YouTube. We haven't gone to YouTube podcast yet. We are going to try to look at Apple and a few other platforms that are still free. There's not that many left because Dave and I encountered some issues. But episode 20 will be where we get to get the next batch of 5 episodes up, which will be in 2 weeks. So in 3 weeks time, expect us to have another batch of 5 up. And we have some more guests that want to come on the show, and we're working with them. And it's going to be very holiday themed. So expect the month of October to be Halloween, scary movies, Christmas and Thanksgiving themed stuff. And
by the way, I don't care what anyone says. Nightmare Before Christmas is both Halloween and Christmas. Fight me on that.
Oh, dude, I want to be on the Christmas one.
Oh, the Christmas one we are doing as a live. And you're more than what we were going to invite you and several other people that would like to come on to do that. So guys, stay tuned to our socials. Where down here you see where they're at.
Are we going to do? Are we going to do Santa Sleigh?
Wait. Now, are we doing the family friendly ones or the horror
Black
ones?
Friday. I mean, we got some holiday themed movies.
There's what was it? Violent Nights, that new one they just did last year.
That was a great movie.
That was a great John Leguizamo.
My all-time favorite is Muppet Christmas Carol.
And that's a family-friendly one. That's definitely made the list.
I'm going to have to take some pictures for you. My wife didn't know that they made Muppet Christmas Carol Funkos.
Yeah, I got.
She went on a tear this week. She got all of them except for Miss Piggy, but I went and picked it up for her Monday, even though I was sick. I went for a bike ride. I went for a toy hunt for myself and came back empty except for her. So she got Miss Piggy. She has the entire Muppet lineup for
Where did I
for A
put 'em?
Christmas Carol,
I got them here too. I'm waiting
including
on.
Michael Caine
I'm waiting on
as Scrooge
the
himself.
Rizzo and Gonzo right now, and I'm still waiting for.
Are they like a double pack?
I'm waiting. No, well, yeah, it's a single pack with Rizzo small,
Okay.
and then I'm waiting for the double pack of what's their names?
The ghosts.
Yeah,
The,
the ghosts.
the hecklers from Muppet Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. And folks, like I said, also be mindful that our 3 channels all have some great content. We love to collab with you. So if you are interested in collabing with any of us, we do have a wide variety of interests. Be sure to just reach out to us on our socials. We'll make the time. I know Colin is always up for a great collab, dude, and he's awesome. He's very knowledgeable.
See, Blue suggested a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, they're nailing good ones. Die Hard's another one of my favorites.
Die Hard's a Christmas film.
Gremlins.
Gremlins is another Christmas one.
Gremlins, Die Hard, and Muppet Christmas Carol. I will Home Alone. I will never miss a Christmas. With
Home Alone. Elf is on mine. It's a personal and A Christmas Story. Those are like my 2 guilty ones I gotta watch.
If Mrs. Dimension has a say, her go-to Christmas movie, Polar Express.
My wife likes that one.
But see me, I'm different. Other than Nightmare Before Christmas.
Jingle All the Way.
Santa Claus the movie.
Oh, Tim Allen.
Yeah, another great
one. No. Not Santa Claus, like legal clause. Santa Claus the movie with John Lithgow, Dudley Moore.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's it's an older film.
It's an 80s movie, but there's like a whole mythos and canon to how he becomes Santa, and to me, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my absolute favorites.
I would say Christmas movies is probably like the one, like I'm not a word what I'm trying to say, but like the amount of movies there are for it, and they're like all great.
Oh yeah, I'll argue this one. People have argued me down that Batman Returns is a Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie, but it's, again, we need to figure out where the line is. And when Dave and I discussed this, it has to be like 75% of the movie has to be.
It's Christmas. Not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off Nakatomi Tower and hits the pavement. Then it's Christmas.
I call the Harry Potter movies Christmas too. They all got Christmas in them.
They go throughout the year, but they do kind of center around the holidays. Yeah. You know, it's a proven fact. You know, it's a thing.
So
it is a thing.
Definitely, since you guys have sparked the interest, we are. I'm starting the holiday films early. And the live is going to be special, where we're going to have guests. Like, it's going to be 4 of us, and we're going to go through a couple of movies. Like, it'll be Colin, me, Dave, and one other person. And we're going to
Beastie,
because I know Beastie loves his pop.
Or maybe we get someone that no one is expecting.
Maybe it's you. We don't know.
Who knows?
So thank you guys again for watching.
Blue, that is another favorite of mine.
Oh, Groundhog Day is another good one. Yeah.
No, Scrooge.
Planes, Trains,
Scrooge with Bill Murray.
Oh God, don't you know what? I think whenever I hear Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think of "Don't Throw Mama from the Train," or "Stop, or my mom will shoot." You know that whole the '80s, man. Estelle Getty.
What does that have to do with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? I mean,
I just think train "Stop, or my mom will shoot."
We could do a travel week where it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Let me see what's another good travel movie.
Geez, you're gonna get me going to March and April next year.
Pretty much.
I got content.
Home Alone, Dutch movie too.
Dutch.
Home Alone 2.
No, Dutch.
2. He travels to New York.
Dutch. A road trip movie with Ed O'Neill and what's his name? Wasn't it Ethan?
Oh God, I forgot the kid's name.
Ethan something that was in Empire Records and a whole bunch of other movies.
You can't forget about the vacation movies.
Oh, you can't forget National.
Oh, Vegas Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation,
Christmas Vacation. I have that on Blu-ray. I bought that last year.
Shitter's full. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Ooh, wait! Did I just see that Blue? You know what, Blue? If you want to get on, brother, all you gotta do is ask us. We make it happen.
He wants it to be a blue Christmas.
He has to come and play in Elvis with no copyright.
No. If we ever do a Shark Night. We got to have blue on.
That's another one too. I've been wanting to do like themes like that, but
you can do Sharknado, Deep Blue Sea,
Jaws, Meg.
Jaws, of course. You know, we
Did anybody watch
the Meg?
I did.
I did not see the Meg 2. No,
yeah, I couldn't make it through it, man. I don't. It was like weird.
So
I mean, it's Jason Statham, so I mean, you know, it's gonna be tolerable because he's in it. But he's got a new movie coming out called The Beekeeper.
The Beekeeper. That looks good.
I saw the trailer and I'm like, okay, it's on.
I think, yeah, but I'm waiting for Expendables. I'm waiting for Saw, for newer stuff. But again, I just got the Equalizer, the Nun, Equalizer 3, the Nun 2, and I forgot one of the other new movies. I found them the other day, and they're brand new to streaming. Like they didn't even stay in theaters all that.
Nun 2 is out already.
Yep, I got it.
Really?
So I'll post it to the Google Drive, so you can watch it.
What about Nun 3, The Exorcist? What?
No,
I didn't even know there was a new Exorcist movie until today.
Yeah, and the thing is, with all the stuff that's going on in Hollywood, again, folks, you know, we don't like to ever go into this, and we're not going to go into this rant. But I will say this: there has been a lack of advertising for the last 5 years of films, and I feel like unless you're like Disney, Marvel, Warner Brothers, DC, and or an independent major company, you're not going to see a lot of.
Well, another thing is a lot of people might be doing what I'm doing. I'm like, well, unless it's something I really feel I need to see in a big screen, I'm just going to wait like a month or two or even 3. Well, usually it's within a month and a half now. It's going to go to streaming of some kind if I have the streaming service. So, you know.
So Disney, I know Disney does 45 days.
To be honest,
yeah, I heard that too.
Hear more about the movies that were released straight to streaming than I do for the box office movies.
Well, now my wife is watching The Continental on Peacock.
I haven't started,
which is the prequel to
John Wick.
And
we get the ballerina, and we get ballerina next year.
But guess who's in it? It makes no sense. Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's kind of throws it off for me. I'm not a big Mel Gibson fan.
I'm not a fan of Mel, and it's been a minute.
But I mean, what was the Christmas movie he did? Something like Fat Man or something?
I was gonna say Lethal Weapon.
Like he was like a killer, like think Rambo as Santa Claus kind of deal.
Oh God, I forgot.
It was came out within like the last 5 years. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I like
it was like Fat Man's or something like that.
I haven't cared for like newer Mel Gibson in a while. I think the last movie I liked was The Gringo.
Anyone? See here.
Yeah, see, Exorcist Believer. I didn't even know about that movie until today.
Yeah, it was called Fat Man.
I heard it's been getting bad feedback too.
Yeah, it came out in 2020, in fact.
I've heard nothing but bad things about it. I still want to see it. Like I know the Nun 2 has gotten a lot of really good reviews.
And I love the first Nun movie.
Exactly. And I love the Conjuring universe. I know James Wan puts his hands in it. So
the only thing that sucks is like I think a big part of the first Nun movie is the cast, and it's going to be hard not seeing that same cast for the second.
Well, supposedly 2 characters come back. The lady that played the nun, she's reprised her role.
What's his name won't be back.
But the girl, the nun that was from the first movie, she's coming back.
Yeah,
the other girl, the good one, the one that survived.
Yeah,
she was the one that was in Annabelle, and she went through all the Annabelle films. So supposedly we're going to get we're getting a bunch of throwbacks. So I'm interested. But again, you know, for those of you that do watch the channel, we appreciate all your love and support. We are looking forward to another scary month, our first year doing the scary movies. You know, look forward to again, you guys want to reach out to us. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys like the content that we do, tell us. We'll bring you more.
And Dre, how can they do that?
Well, you can come to the Outer Dim Pod, which is on the X, formerly known as Twitter. Or you can hit us up at the Outer Dimensions Podcast on Instagram. Or you can hit us up
at his personal phone number 41. No.
No, there's the Outer Dimensions Podcast at gmail.com.
Call me now for your free read and
Dre's number is 513.
867-5309. But yeah, if you
Jenny?
guys ever exactly. Jenny?
And but Dre and I have something coming up this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We last month we started up the mental health monthly stream, and we can't thank you guys enough. The response has been overwhelming, and we can say this: it's already made a world of difference already. No names, no information being given out, but we've already helped a few people. We are not professionals by any means, but we're putting out the effort. We're just trying to share what information we have and our own experiences to try and help anyone. And by the way, if anyone wants to join us, you can always email Dre or I, or you can message Dre at the Collector's Safe Space on Instagram. You can message me at Daves_Dimension, or message us on any of our socials or the Outer Dimension social. But this Saturday morning, it's going to be me, Dre, and we do have a guest scheduled. But anyone and everyone is welcome to join. Blue, if you want to hop on, Ricardo, if you want to hop on, Gilster, if anyone wants to hop on, it's going to be an open door. Come in, and it's a 1 hour stream where we talk about some of the stresses of life in general. And I mean, let's be honest. September's past, kids are getting into school. We're trying to fall into that fall routine, but for some, it's a little bit more stressful than others. I mean, I personally can speak to that.
Holiday depression is real, folks.
And well, we're not even full swing into the holidays, although Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up. So those of our friends north of the border, you guys, I'm sure you get the stress of the holidays, and, please feel free to join us. But again, that's going to be this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. And guess what? Just like right now, it's going to be on the Outer Dimensions podcast. It's going to be on the Collector's Safe Space, and it's going to be on Dave's Dimension and maybe a few other channels.
True. We are branching out. This is important. I'm not going to stress this anymore. Not just the charity, but mental health. I'm all about community. I'm going to borrow a word that I've been hearing a lot of people say on their channels: transparency. I don't do this because I want the thanks. I do this because I met two of my closest friends right here because of the mental health stream. These two guys I met through that, and it's 2 years later, they're still in my life, and I talk to them every day.
Thank you, Ricardo. He says he's got the notification already on. Gilster even said, "A life is telling me to get a new job. I don't like change. Change is never easy." And we'll be talking more about that. But I'm also trying to see if I can get more information for people. I had someone in my life recently tell me about a terrifying experience they went through. So I'm trying to see if we can get some email links or some website links for anyone who might be going through survivor's guilt, which is a real big issue with a lot of people. And it can be very debilitating. So we're trying to get as much information as possible so we can help you guys as much as possible. And not just guys, but anyone out there. Kat, if you're still listening, if you want to jump in and talk about anything, we're here. This is going to be an open house stream. Anybody can come through.
Exactly. And we don't mind telling our stories, but it's not about me and Dave talking about our story. It's about you guys. That's why we do these roundtables. We want you guys to come through, sit down, talk. Hopefully get it off your chest, because keeping it in ain't helpful. And if the best gift that we can give you is a platform, then by all means use our platform. We do it once a month to make sure you guys have that outlet. And we had to work it around a lot of schedules because Dave and I are very busy, but we are carving out that time because we wanted you guys to have it. And with the holidays, we know that November is going to be tough in December, but we're going to try to do it earlier in the month. Because it'll work, because you don't want to run into Thanksgiving, you don't want to run into this, and Christmas. But we're just, if you want to come on, we'll have we ask you to reach out to us. I've reached out to a few people. If they're interested, they're more than welcome to come. And please, share your stories, whatever you need to. So again, thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. and no bullshit. It's like there's no gimmicks. We really thank you. It means a lot to me and Dave. Like, we cry, we tear up when people tell us the messages I've gotten and forwarded it to Dave saying, holy shit, we made a difference in someone's life. I cried to my wife the other night. You know, it makes a difference, and that's all we have to do. That's all that matters for me, you know. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Colin, for staying with us all this time. And thank you to my brother Dave. And thank you guys and girls for coming through the chat. You mean the world to us. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this. You know, so thank you guys again. And we'll see you Saturday at 11 a.m. All right, y'all.
Dre, those famous words, hit us.
All right. I was getting all choked up, so let me get myself to my proper exit motif. And please watch your heads as you exit the portal, folks, and we will see you on the flip side.